motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Even one Razorback.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McLarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Good morning and welcome into halftime Monday. Sun shining brightly outside my window here in Hoover, Alabama. I'm Phil Elson in Hoover. Matt Jones at our ESPN Arkansas headquarters. Matt, beautiful day here in whatever portion of Alabama you want to call this. South Central Alabama, Central-ish Alabama, something like that. Baseball will start tomorrow in the SEC tournament. The Hogs don't get it going until Wednesday. And a nice weekend. Yesterday was seriously the chillest day of the year. How about yourself?
Yeah, beautiful weekend. What are you, day 4 of your road trip? Day 5? I know you.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we left Wednesday, so I think that's 6.
Who do we play Wednesday? Do we know yet?
Either Alabama or South Carolina.
They don't want this smoke. They don't. Alabama. They don't want us.
Two teams that should be pretty desperate. I'll tell you that. There's going to be a lot of desperation on the field tomorrow when they do get it started. What's at stake for the Razorbacks this week? Nothing. Really, nothing really. To be honest with you, I don't think there's anything they could do here that could hurt their national seed aspirations or help their national seed aspirations.
Would you think there should be an SEC tournament in the middle of the season then? Because if we're doing it now, can we change the date of the tournament then where it can matter, it can do it? Because to me, it's
whatever you got to do to make this
relevant.
Feel like it matters to everybody in it, not just the teams that are fighting to get to the NCAA tournament, but the teams that already know that they're there. Yeah. I mean, and look, I mean, the NBA has found a way to have an in-season tournament that. I mean, did you feel like the players cared about it that much? Didn't the team the Lakers won the thing, right? They didn't even heck.
They won 7 games in a row. It's the only time all year they won 7 games in a row.
And so they obviously must have cared about it very much, but it didn't have anything to do whatsoever in how they played in the postseason when it matters more. I mean, you'll talk often about, it's a chance to raise a banner, and that means it's something to play for. Do you raise a banner of an in-season NBA tournament when you got knocked out in the first round? Now who took them out?
It was a play-in game. I don't know that it mattered yet.
Yeah,
it was the play-ins.
That's exactly right. So, I mean, do you even raise a banner inside that building? That's a building that's supposed to just, raise banners for legitimate, real championships, not a play-in tournament or not a new tournament that just started in the middle of a season.
It's something to add to the trophy case. You can add the trophy. I don't know if you put a banner up, but it's the inaugural. It was the first one. I bet in 30 years, when our time's done on this earth, Phil, maybe that tournament means a little more. So
maybe
it was.
So.
But
you make a valid point, though. I mean, this tournament that's about to start tomorrow. This is a great baseball tournament. The amount of
the best talent
here,
yeah.
There's more talent here than there usually is at the College World Series. Just because eventually there's going to be SEC teams that lose in the postseason. And the 12 teams that are here, I don't even know how many of the guys will get drafted that are just off of these teams alone, in the top 5 rounds. It's an amazing baseball tournament, but you do have teams, right? Like I don't think Kentucky, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Arkansas, or even maybe Georgia have anything that they have to worry about here. Georgia, you could be with a 5th national seed out of the Southeastern Conference. Georgia would be that 5th seed, would be that 5th team, and they play tomorrow morning against LSU. So maybe they feel they've got to do something there. But it's the teams that are on the bubble. It's Vandy. It's Ole Miss. It's LSU. It's South Carolina. I don't know if I think all those teams are on the bubble, but they need to start winning some games so that maybe they get a home game in the tournament, or host a tournament, or they even get a bid. But hey, I'd like the idea of, I don't know how you do it, but college sports is about to change dramatically in so many ways, Matt. I mean, you already have a.
Well, you get OU in Texas.
There's going to be an NIL tournament in basketball in the early portion of the season next year. I don't know why you couldn't have some kind of a mid-season SEC tournament. That would be a funky time to feel for it, but hey, it would be pretty good. Maybe you feel like you get teams buying in more.
Yeah, maybe you could start it off with last year's last year's seeding, and they have it to kick off the regular season. But you're adding OU in Texas as well into the mix. We forget about that. I mean, they're here next year. That's two more first class type of baseball teams.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll find out. I guess tomorrow. Let's see how this all shakes out. I've got my bracket in front of me here. You get Georgia and LSU tomorrow, 9:30. I think those teams either are practicing right now or will practice very soon. Alabama and South Carolina start 30 minutes after the conclusion of Georgia LSU. The Hogs get either Alabama or South Carolina, two teams that they played series against this year, dropping 2 of 3 to the Crimson Tide and winning 2 out of 3 in Columbia against the Gamecocks. Vandy and Florida are game 3. Florida probably needs to win the tournament in order to make it to the NCAA tournament, and then Mississippi State at Ole Miss. Now, State is in, but they're fighting to host a regional. And they probably need to win a few games here in order to have a real case for it. And I think that'll be the 5th game that Mississippi State and Ole Miss play against each other. So, and thankfully, for I don't remember what it was like last year. I think the weather was okay last year, but usually the weather sucks every time you come to Hoover. And you could end up with games that get pushed past midnight because of extra innings and rain delays and everything. But now we've got a pitch timer in college baseball. The weather looks good. So at least for tomorrow through, I think, Thursday, it may not be that crazy of a tournament in terms of some of the late finishes and worried about weather.
Well, and that being said, I guess, every time it's an opportunity to go out there and get better field. Do you change anything up on game 1 for Arkansas? If you're playing South Carolina, Alabama, are you still starting Hagen Smith? Are you not
Wednesday?
Not Wednesday. Yeah,
that's the thing that's so wild about this, is that you have some teams that they got to win today in order to make it, or they got to win tomorrow to make it to Wednesday. It's single elimination tomorrow, to double elimination Wednesday and Thursday, and nobody can pitch their main guys. You can't pitch your ace.
Yeah.
Nobody will pitch their ace until Thursday at the latest, maybe Wednesday, I guess, because he had a series that started Thursday. The Hogs aren't in that position, though. I think what's important for this week is to get Brady Tigert on the mound at some point. I don't know what role he'll have, whether it'll be a starter or in relief, but to get him out there and to get him pitching again after a week of not inactivity, just not pitching, and to get him maybe where it looked like Molina finished Friday's game. You got Molina back out there as a reliever on Friday, and he sent all 9 batters down in the win that clinched the division for the Razorbacks. So, I think those are the two most important things, making sure that both of those guys are ready to pitch in the postseason in whatever role you've got them planned for. And that'll be really interesting, seeing the decisions that are made about this, because Gage Wood, Matt, on Friday was terrific as a starting pitcher.
I'm telling you, when I saw them, I love Molina coming out, being that guy to get somebody out in those last 3, 4, 5, 6 outs, whatever. Just I don't know, just if it was just the way he went about it, I feel like maybe that's a better role for him. And then Gage Wood, I think you can put him in any role that you want to put him in, and he's going to be successful.
I think so too. I do. I agree. Hopefully get Kendall Diggs some at bats so he can, try to get in a better place for the start of the postseason. And then I'm just gonna look forward to sitting around watching some good games. I love the atmosphere at the Hoover Met. You get all these fan bases that are coming together around the same time. It's a cool ballpark, at least for the tournament that holds it. And And man, at some point I should get the sun-kissed and ice cream sandwich thing going on. I just remembered about that. My favorite snack up in the press area, where you get your ice cream sandwiches and your sun-kissed. Now I'm already starting to drool. Yesterday, though, Matt, it really was. Like, yesterday is out of the 306. Was this year a leap year? It is, isn't it? Out of the 366 days of the year, May the 19th will be the absolute chillest day of the entire year for me. Like, the only reason I even left the hotel was to go to the AA game downtown. I took Oliver with me. He's the SID for baseball, and that's just because it's a tradition. I'll go to the Sunday game when we come here because there's nothing else to do. But for the guys, like, they don't have any transportation. You know, maybe they can get an Uber or something like that, but they don't have any transportation. None of the other teams are in the hotel yet. They're in the Hyatt Regency, so I think there's 8 or 9 teams that stay there. There's the mall next door, but it's closed until noon. It legitimately is. There's no classes to worry about. You don't have to, you know, maybe you guys can wake up and go find a church. They got to get an Uber in order to do it. It's just, I would say May the 19th is the absolute chillest day of the year.
Well, that's
and then it ain't going to be much chiller than that for the rest of this year.
Yeah, that's pretty cool because May the 19th, Man City became the first team to win 4 consecutive titles in the Premier League. You had 2 NBA Game 7s on May 19th that were won by the road team, the Indiana Pacers, the depleted Knicks. That was a no-brainer.
I watched the Nuggets. and the T-Wolves yesterday, and I thought it was going to turn into a really, you know, exciting, close fourth quarter, but Denver just couldn't score.
Well, it's you take the number 1 defense in all the lands, and that's what you get to go to war with. You know, it's kind of the Sophie's choice. Do you want the number 1 offense or the number 1 defense? You look at football, baseball, basketball, these main sports. Minnesota's got the number 1 defense, and they held Denver. I would have bet your money, Phil, and I know you're like, keep your hands off my money, Matt, but like I would have bet Denver would score more than 14 points in a quarter. And that was just locked down. They flipped a switch. They made them uncomfortable, and it was I couldn't believe, like, you couldn't believe after you watched that first half and seeing Denver up 15 and just doing whatever they want, and then to come out and Minnesota flip the script. It was wild. May 19th to go down in sports history. 2 road team Game 7s, kicking the bucket.
Well, and for the T-Wolves, too, I mean, they were down 20. Wouldn't it look at just like a 40-point swing?
58-38 in the third quarter at one point.
That's wild to be able to pull that off on the road.
Stunned.
Against the champions, the team that knew how to that won the games they needed to.
It looked like Hillary Clinton's win party when she got beat by Donald Trump. You know, that the election, how she was winning the whole time, and you remember seeing the photos after it, and everybody's like, what just happened? Up until 10:30 at night, she was winning, and then boom, it's like, oh, realization set in.
They have some pantsuits inside the ball arena too. They must have. Out of the 18,000 people there, however many people were there, there's a couple pantsuits.
I wouldn't put it past a Russell Westbrook to wear a pantsuit into walking in. Yeah,
it would be shorts though.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
with suspenders too. Yeah,
yeah. I'm pretty sure. Now I don't know fashion very well, but I think it would be shorts. Maybe even with the things to hold your socks up, the suspenders to hold your socks up.
Yeah.
Stirrups, yeah. That's what that's called, isn't it? Halftime on a Monday. We just have one guest today. It's Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation. He'll be by in about an hour. Otherwise, lots of time for calls and texts on the McLarty Daniel hotline as we go throughout the show. You can get on the horn right now and call us if you like. 877-377-6963. Say with halftime. We'll be right back in just a moment.
ESPN Arkansas and Phil Elson are live at the 2024 SEC Baseball Tournament. Our coverage is presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, your Omaha's headquarters, the largest selection of Razorback merchandise south of the North Pole. Shop on Razorback.com. It doesn't get any more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Kofer's Boat Center. Kofer's huge selection of new boats can be seen on their website, Kofers.com. That's COPHERS.com. Kofer's Boat Center, providing family fun since 1971.
Deep to right center field. You gotta go. That ball is gone.
Kendall Dix will send it back to the hotel. For the walk-off homer, the Hawks win 6-5 on Dix's 11th of the year. Struck him out looking. Force play at second. Holt has to hold on to it. Throws behind him at third. Double play. What an incredibly smart play by Peyton Holt.
Listen to every Razorback baseball game on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Get 1.9% financing for well-qualified buyers on a GMC Sierra 1500 at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra 1500 has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Get 1.9% financing and $3,250 in purchase allowance when you trade an eligible vehicle. See the new GMC Sierra 1500 at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Pay attention. This happens fast. You're on the forklift in your warehouse when it breaks down. You call Medley Equipment Company. Talk to Debbie.
Hello.
Debbie tells you they'll get you moving again. Debbie talks to a service tech.
Yep, I can do it.
Tech says when they can be there. That nice Debbie lady calls you back.
Hello.
Saying your forklift will be fixed in a few hours.
Nice.
Pretty fast, right? We're just trying to keep up because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm branch manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Hey, I'm Arkansas pitcher Hagen Smith. Unlock huge savings as a Pascal Plan Protection member for just $8.99 a month. Enjoy annual AC tune-ups, priority scheduling, and discounts on repairs. Plus, these benefits extend to your plumbing and electrical needs, too. Sign up now and get up to $350 in instant savings on a water heater, electric panel, or new AC system. With their friendly budget payment plans, you'll never overpay for your home services. Don't wait. Visit gopascal.com today to schedule your service or to start your membership.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and at Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Olympic gold medalists, world record holders, NCAA champions, and more. Watch the greatest track and field athletes in the world compete in Fayetteville for the opening round of the 2024 NCAA Outdoor Track and Field Championships. Witness greatness as world-class athletes compete for an NCAA finals berth and prep for the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris right here in the track capital of the world. The race is on at John McDonald Field May 22nd through May 25th on the campus of the University of Arkansas. So secure your tickets today at ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I can hear all the whispers dying. I can see the struggle in your eyes. When are we gonna get together? Find a voice, come and speak your mind.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Live at the SEC tournament, though I'm not at the Hoover Met, not yet. They don't even have the thing open until, I think at 12 o'clock, people can start going their credentials and everything. So there's practice going on right now, but nobody can actually be there watching it. All of our coverage of the SEC baseball tournament being presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback and by Kofer's Boat Center in Fort Smith. Matt, you just got to look at this video, the fight with Kyle Busch and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I'd seen it last night after it went down. Now, I haven't watched a NASCAR race in a long, long time. I guess this was the All-Star race. I don't know anything that happened leading up into this. I think there's a lot of people that don't know what happened leading up to it, but you got 3 or 4 different video angles of this fight, which it looks like Stenhouse is the one who threw the first punch. And his dad even got involved in it. It's quite a little skirmish they had.
Well, my question to you, Phil, is if you're a baseball pitcher, you can put that ball wherever you want to. If you want to hit the batter, you can. Now, sometimes it's an accident. So when they're a NASCAR racer, my mind tends to believe if they want to bump somebody and spin them out, that they know exactly what they're doing. And then also they know how not to do it. So was there maliciousness in this? Whenever they were going around, did he do it on purpose? Was there anything like that? Or was it a purely accident? Because I don't know if it was an accident. I think when it looked like he knew what he was doing.
Well, you can see, I mean, the first video I saw is coming from whomever is filming from behind Busch, who's walking behind Busch as he goes up and I guess, just decided to confront Stenhouse, and they were arguing, but they weren't arguing in a way where it looked like there was about to be a punch thrown. Now, the relationships between people, and again, I don't know the reputations of these drivers, but there must be something with Busch's reputation that causes Stenhouse to go from somebody that's questioning what Busch is saying to, like, a split second later throwing the first punch. Starting the melee.
That's what Netflix needs to get, those two right there.
Yeah.
You want to see now, maybe 1 minute rounds, but let them go at it for a little bit.
There's a 30 for 30 behind that. There's going to be a 30 for 30 behind that. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. One thing about a fight like this, though, Matt, is that's the only thing anybody will talk about this sport for a moment. It's like, we'll focus on the fighting with hockey, but there's an incredible amount of skill that goes along with hockey, and the fighting really isn't. There's not a lot of it. And it's just like, well, golfers don't get arrested going to the golf course every day, so that got so much of the talk on Friday and probably for the next week or so with Scotty Scheffler. And I don't know, this just seems to fit right into this a little bit.
Yeah, you don't know the reputations, and it's an all-star game. That's and it looked like when they kind of got there, you could see the guy in the gray shirt was just he didn't like what he was hearing. He was like, "Yeah, I don't like that."
I don't think he liked the face that was in front of him.
Yeah, maybe that was it. It could have been just as simple as that.
Brent in Searcy is first up on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Brent, what's up?
What's up? What's up, Phil and Matt?
Hey, good to hear from you today.
Hey, it's great to be on. We're fixing to talk about the baseball's Western Division SEC champions, the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Woo! That's right. 5 of them in the last 6 full seasons. It is just seriously impressive.
Hey, I'm just going to tell you that is one of that's the hardest thing to do in sports is win a series in college baseball, especially in the SEC. And these fans that are calling in saying they don't know how that winning the West isn't that big a deal to them. That is a big deal, Phil and Matt. Matt, you know it.
You're preaching to the choir.
you've competed at the highest level, and Phil, you've been the radio voice at the highest level for many years, and you two both know how difficult that is to win 5 out of 6 years.
Well, Brent, I think that we have a myopia of what is meaningful in a college athletic season, and I can be guilty of this too sometimes because I've been out there reminding people that your season is defined by what happens in the postseason, and that is the truth. That's the truth in professional sports too. We remember the playoffs, we remember the postseason because that's the last thing that you're left with. But that doesn't take away the idea that you build a team for a regular season. Because that's where you play most of your games. This is a 3.5-3-month regular season, and to be the best in this division, which I truly do think. I think the SEC West, and I know we don't do divisions across a lot of college sports now in most of the sports, and this is the last time we'll ever do it in the SEC. Well, at least for now, I shouldn't say ever. I think the SEC West is the single most difficult division in all of college sports, not just in college baseball, but in all of the sports. The amount of national contenders that come out of this division on an annual basis, the amount of national champions that come out of this division. And I know Arkansas hasn't won that national title yet, but they've been the king of this division now for 7 years in a row, or 6 of 7 years, and I just think it's amazing. It is an accomplishment.
And I just wanted to talk about a little bit about what a masterful performance Hagen Smith had Thursday night. 7 innings? He lasted. Is that right?
Yeah, 6 innings.
6 innings.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he totally. Jim Schlossnagle thought to hit it out of the park against anybody. He had them confused. Okay, Braden Montgomery, they didn't spend a whole lot of time blowing bubbles in that Thursday night game. I'm just going to tell you. And Gage Wood, Friday night, just really, really, really good after the first inning where he gave up a 2-run home run. It shouldn't have been if we don't make Stovall never makes an error like that. And he just buckled down and got it done. And then Parker Coyle and Mason Molina, really proud of Coyle and Mason Molina for after what he had been through the last month of the season to go get 9 straight outs. I thought that was just incredible.
Yeah, I thought so too, Brent. I thought they were. I thought watching Gage Wood, and you're like, yes, this is somebody that now should be starting. Coyle's really come on of late, and I thought Molina was just terrific out of the pen. To face those 9 batters and not let the lineup turn over was outstanding. So that's one of the storylines this week. Brady Tigert, when does he pitch, and how do you throw him? What situation, bullpen or starting? Mason Molina looking so good in relief the other day, and you've lost one of your top relievers because Wood is now starting. So do you put Molina in the back of the pen, or those are some of the things to pay attention to this week. Brian in Ozark next up on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Hi, Brian. Good morning. What's up?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, I heard on the other show there was debate on whether the SEC West title mattered or whether it didn't. A lot of people think it doesn't, but let me tell you why it does. Arkansas is pretty evenly with 4 or 5 teams right now in the SEC. I believe being Tennessee, Mississippi State, Kentucky, and whoever on any given day. But next year, they got Oklahoma and Texas coming, which are 2 very powerful teams as well. Oklahoma won the Big 12. Texas won the series against OU, and they're pretty good. But I think when they go to one division, with 16 schools, that is the SEC title is going to be hard to get. It may be a while before Arkansas sees that. I don't know. I hope it's not. But like David Price for Texas is very equal to DVH. I think they both have like 1,000 wins apiece. So I don't know. I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in and why I think that SEC West title is very important this year. And I hang up and listen to what you got.
Okay. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, I mean they've won 2 overall SEC championships, shared one of them, won one of them outright in the last 3 years. So I think they'll be right there, and they have the ability to do it. Look, you set goals throughout a season, and there's segmented goals, I think, for a college baseball team. The first and foremost is to win your division. That's the first thing they're going after. You can win you can win the SEC along with it, but you got to win that first thing, that first thing that's in front of you. Whether or not that means you get to the College World Series or win a regional, it doesn't always work out that way. But if you were to go down the line to every person wearing that uniform and ask them whether or not they think that's an accomplishment, 100% of them will say yes. And those are the opinions, to me, I think, that matter a little bit more because they're the ones who are out there. And you build a team for a regular season. You do. I mean, if you build a team just for a tournament, for what you hope you're going to get to, there's no guarantee you get there. You got to build for a regular season. You got to play that regular season. And if somebody is out there saying that winning a division where 4 or 5 national champions have come from in the last however many years, I don't think you've been on a team that's played that kind of competition. I think it's an amazing accomplishment. Is it the accomplishment? No. Winning the national title is the accomplishment. And that's one of the goals that they're going after. So this is just the first one that they're shooting after. And then there's another one after that, and that's to win the regional. And then after that, it's to win a super regional. And then you know where you go from there. So I don't like the idea of poo-pooing a division championship and saying that it doesn't matter, because it does. It does. And I think if you're out there with the opinion publicly that it doesn't mean anything, I think that's an insult to the guys who are wearing the uniform. All right, we'll come right back in just a moment. Got plenty of callers lined up. It's halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Attention Arkansas, Red River Dodge is the place to be with over 50 new Chargers and Challengers in stock and over 100, yes, 100 new Ram 1500s ready to roll. Plus, get up to $15,000 off MSRP on a new Ram Heavy Duty. Make that beautiful drive to Heber Springs or check us out online at redriverdodge.com. And always remember, at Red River, we deliver.
During It's the Season sales of
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MBA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
It's the Memorial Day Hell Sale at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. The biggest savings of the summer are right now.
Yes, and Tommy, most of these cars, if you walk out here and look at them, you can't even see the damage that's actually on these cars. But what you can see is the savings on the hang tag hanging from that rearview mirror. I mean, you're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars in savings on pre-owned vehicles. I mean, we've got used vehicles out there with up to $10,000 off in savings.
You got the discount that was already on the vehicle, plus the hail money that goes along with it.
Yes, definitely. And we've even got new. We've got a couple of new cars out there that were here during that hailstorm also, and they'll have some discounts. Hey, this is going to be a hell of a sale. You got to get down here and see us. You want to save some money, get you a good interest rate, get you a good price on a car, and hey, we can even fix these cars in the process too.
Slight damage means big savings for you. It's the Memorial Day Hell Sale. Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster. And in the past decade as a roofing contractor, he knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Dallas Street Dental. Refuse to compromise when it comes to replacing missing teeth. Dr. Bill Ligon at Dallas Street Dental can make your smile look, feel, and function almost exactly the way it did before you lost any teeth. In some cases, even better. Dental implants function like your natural teeth and make it possible for you to enjoy those juicy steaks this grilling season. Look younger and smile with confidence with dental implants from Dallas Street Dental. Schedule your free implant consultation today at 479-452-6600.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
With over $30,000 in cash and prizes, don't miss the 34th annual Judge Greg Gray Memorial Tri-Lakes Big Bass Festival, sponsored by the Sevier County Chamber of Commerce, Saturday, May 25th, Memorial Day weekend. Head to Gillum, DeQueen, or Dirks Lake and set your sights and your hook on the special $10,000 Reel the Weight prize on each lake if your winning numbers match up. Go online, SevierCountyChamberOfCommerce.org for an entry form. This ad paid for with state and regional funds.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Lost my self-control. I love the pictures on the wall, reminding me of what I lost again.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I'm going to try this stuff for the first time. Matt, I like coconut water, but I bought this stuff that's called the pressed coconut water. It's supposed to have that extra coconutty taste. Some people don't do the coconut water. I even like the stuff that's got the pulp in it. You know, the little bits of coconut. What do you feel about
orange juice has to be with a little pulp, yes, at 100%. Now, coconut water, can't you get the same thing out of eating a banana? Isn't that the same?
What, coconut out of a banana?
Well, isn't that the same concept, what it does for your body, the things that's healthy for you? I'd rather eat a banana.
Ooh, that is an extra coconutty flavor. And, you know, there's a major difference between the non-pressed and the pressed coconut water. Look at this stuff, Matt.
You got to just carry that around. If somebody you can just throw it at somebody. Absolutely. That's a weapon.
Looks like milk or, you know, something else that I don't know if I'd drink. It definitely has the coconutty flavor.
That's got to be healthy for you, too. I mean, it looks healthy.
If you can't see through it, it must be good for you.
Like that, you eat a banana and some Greek yogurt and some coconut water, and then you'll be on your way.
Read some folks on the text line asking about Cooper Dossett and his arm injury. I know he's got an MRI that's coming up today. So outside of that, I don't know what the deal is with him. But the way that he had to get off the mount on Saturday, it did not look good. So I wouldn't count on seeing Cooper anytime soon. So, but nothing's official because he hasn't had the MRI yet. A couple callers on hold. Let's take the calls. Hey, before we do that, Matt, I just wanted to double check with you. The thing I was talking about going into the break, and I'm not trying to be dismissive to fans that have concerns about the team, but I will be dismissive towards anybody that treats a regular season division championship as if it doesn't mean anything.
It's just spoiled. We're spoiled. It's we've been doing it so long, I think, and we're dissecting hairs here where we won a national championship. We're at the top, it seems like, and we just can't get over the hump. I think it's greatness. I mean, you got to be thankful because it's not going to be like this forever.
Yeah, maybe the idea of spoiled is attached to it, because if you've had a baseball team that hasn't won anything in a long time and then you win a division, you treat it a little differently. You know, when they won the game on Friday, they didn't celebrate. They celebrated as if they won a big game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they just kind of came out of the dugout. They looked really happy. They shook hands. They slapped five. They did a little bit of yelling, but there was no, you couldn't feel like it was any other win. It was just like any other road win.
So you're saying Mississippi State celebrated a home run more than the Hogs celebrated a West?
Absolutely.
See, but I dig it because they know it's a business trip. That's what you want out of the fellas. You know, it's awesome. You look back on it, but they know the mission's not done yet.
There's a video that the guys from Pig Trail Nation did. I know a couple of them were at A&M, and so they had their camera in the camera well when Hudson White hit his go-ahead home run in the 8th inning. And to me, this is one of my favorite differences between Arkansas and like almost any other program in the country. It's an 8th inning go-ahead home run where if you win the game, you win the division. They all stayed in the dugout. I mean, they were celebrating in the dugout.
That's fine.
They were happy about it. It's not like they were all stone-faced. But they stayed in the dugout, and they let the guys who had scored runs come into the dugout, and Hudson White comes down the dugout stairs, and then they start celebrating with him. They didn't do it out of the dugout.
Hey,
they didn't boom a home run. I thought it was gorgeous.
I'm all for if a guy gets a double and you look back and y'all got some type of cheer that you're going on celebrating, triple, same thing. I'm all for that. That seems to be celebrating the right way.
Greg from Farmington is on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Hi, Greg. How are you?
Hey, doing great, guys. Congratulations to the Hog West Division champions. And like you say, that just a reflection of the leadership. They were there for business, no carrying on, no acting goofy like the other dugout. They were there to get a job done, and they did. You were talking about NASCAR. You know, Steinhaus and Busch have both been known to be hotheads and jerks. I remember one race early in his career, I believe it was Vegas. Busch won the race, and he got this beautiful custom-painted guitar. What's the guy do? He smashes it right there on the stage. So I'm all for letting Steinhaus and Busch put them in a steel cage, let them go at it, and whoever walks out, walks out. I'm out of here. Have a great week.
Celebrity death match. We could get the clay animation. We need to bring that back, right? That would be gold.
Celebrity NASCAR death match.
Ooh, even better. Can they bring their cars as weapons, or any member from the pit crew and some type of ammunition from the pit crew?
I say we get these two guys, Busch and Steinhaus, as the undercard to Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. Get them trained. I mean, you got another 2 months until the fight. Get them training. They'll put on a really good show. Heck, you could even do a tag team. Busch can choose whomever he wants, and Steinhaus can have his father there, because he went after Busch harder than he did.
Some animosity going on there. I wonder what the underlying current is.
Has there ever been a tag team boxing match? And if no, why has there not? Why can we do tag team wrestling but not do tag team boxing? Anybody that can explain a reason for that, I'll be very appreciative. Cabbage Head is with us here, and I don't know if you can explain to me, Cabbage Head, why there's never been tag team boxing, but go for it, or maybe you got something else on your mind.
Well, no, I don't know much about boxing, and for sure not as much as you and Matt know about the boxing deal, but now the pulp.
I don't know. I really don't know much about boxing at all anymore, Cabbage Head. It's been a minute since I watched very closely, so be careful.
No, I tell you what, as I told you last week, you guys do great at what you do, and I really enjoy listening to you when you give the baseball, because you're so pay attention to little things that some people don't, but I've told you what a good job you do, and just keep doing it. A couple things. Orange juice with pulp, man, that's the only way to go. And if you've ever had any, do y'all like lemonade?
Too much sugar for me, but yeah. If you want to cut it with some unsweet tea.
I can drink lemonade any way it comes, whether it comes electric or non-electric.
Well, if you want the absolutely best lemonade, you'll go to Chick-fil-A and get some of theirs because it's real. I asked Dr. Edwards yesterday. We went out to dinner, and his son owns one in Nashville, and he said they have a machine that you put the lemons in up top, and it comes down, and it actually makes the lemonade out of lemons. That's why it tastes so good. I mean, but I might buy a gallon, and I might do that Arnold Palmer thing, half and half tea. But they have a real good product. The other thing, you guys might have to. I know you're awful good at what you do, but you may have to put your thinking cap on. You may not. But I was having a conversation yesterday with the play as far as the Razorbacks baseball team was when all three of them run over there by first base, and they looking at each other, and they let the ball hit the ground. Was that shortstop player? Did he run over there, and then the right field player, and then I don't know if it was the pitcher, but the shortstop, if that was him, he should have never come over there. But they
Wait, are you talking about Cabbage Head? I'm a little confused. Are we talking about the 2018 famous pop-up foul ball or a different play?
Yeah. If we had just caught that ball, we'd have won the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I remember that. There was a play that was almost exactly like it in the 8th inning Fridays game, where the second baseman, the first baseman, and the right fielder are chasing a pop-up in foul territory. Kendall Diggs made the diving catch on Friday that probably we were hoping to see Eric Cole make in 2018. That's the right fielder's ball. It's the right fielder's got to be aggressive going after a pop fly that's that far up the right field line. And yeah, I thought about it the moment I saw Kendall Diggs make that catch. I'm sure there were a lot of other fans that remembered that moment when they saw it as well. A text here from Daniel in Uniontown. He says he's not being dismissive of winning a division or a conference championship. But when you've been at this level for so long without a national title, it sucks. No, and I understand that, Daniel. You're coming from your perspective here. Your perspective is not the same perspective as the guys that are playing on the team and as the coaches. Every team is different. Fans stay the same. You stay the same now from you were a fan from however long you've been. Each team is different. The 2018 team through 2024, these are all different groups. And so they deserve their adulation isn't the word, or they just deserve their credit for winning this division, independently of anything else that happens throughout this season, what these guys have accomplished this year. And I'm just talking within the context of those players wearing this uniform. It's a much different group of players that were playing last year, which is a heck of a lot different than the group that played in 2021, so on and so forth. This, to me, also, it helps confirm sometimes that I feel like when we're fans of a team, we're rooting for ourselves in some cases. You want the joy of the national title and the celebration that goes along with it. I don't think you're dismissive of the division title, but you're saying it sucks. Well, it sucks yes, it does, but it's like, okay, well, it sucks you haven't won the national title. But is that on this year's team? Is that on this year's guys, that they're the ones that are ultimately responsible for giving you the joy of a national title? I just think every team is different. One year doesn't mean the next year is the same. Yes, it's probably the same way that a lot of Braves fans felt, but they did win their one World Series. Buffalo Bills fans had to have obviously feel a certain way. Does that take away the accomplishment of making it to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row? No. And each team is different. That's the only way that I can put it. These guys are not the 2018 team. They're not the 2019 team. They're not even the 2023 team, and they deserve the credit of a division championship when they earn it. Brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma, the dealership that served the River Valley in northwest Arkansas for over 70 years. at the junction of I-40 and I-49 beside the Cracker Barrel to give your family the best experience, helping you choose the right RV for your adventures. Service and parts department right there on site, and everything you need in between at Crabtree RV. You can go to crabtreerv.com for more information. Going to wrap up our first hour of halftime in just a moment.
The Cal era is here. Championship under construction is gone.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
You can go directly to Arbus Go mobile app. Arbus makes no representation that any contribution.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential.
And I guess it's a pretty quick segment, so I'm not going to take Charlie's phone call. We'll wait until we get into the break for Charlie. Is C-Unit in there today?
Yeah,
Matt?
he's holding it down.
It is the sweet. You got away without a homework assignment last week,
I did.
C-Music. We can't let that happen again. My daughter has finals all week, so this is a very important week for your education too.
All right, let's do it. It's what I've had a couple weeks off now, I think.
So you should be ready to go. I mean, you should be ready for a really hard assignment.
I am very ready.
All right, so Matt, maybe we got to figure out something to assign him.
He
this
needs
week
to watch.
Got a lot of weight.
Well, one thing for the summer, a good summer weekend, he needs to watch the 2 Sherlock Holmes movies by Guy Ritchie. It's Jude Law, Robert Downey Jr., a Bond girl's in there. It's Rachel McAdams. There's so-and-so. The dude from Mad Men's in there. But that's a good one. That's I don't know if you've seen
that
those.
one on top of young Sherlock Holmes, which would have been, I don't think there's anybody who knows any of the actors from that movie, which would have been something like 1987 or 1988. We could do a trilogy of Sherlock Holmes movies and see which.
Have you seen Back to the
C-Unit
Future
thinks is
trilogy?
better.
Has Chris C-Unit seen Back to the Future trilogy?
I have seen Back to the Future. Is there more than one movie?
I think you just got your answer,
Okay.
Matt.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Which one's pink?
You didn't realize that there are 2 sequels.
I don't think so. No, I didn't.
Things to learn. Very important things to learn. Matt Jones, good digging. Well done. Stay with halftime, hour number 2 right after this.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten to your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
Warning, warning, attention all homeowners. Hi, this is Justin at West Termite Pest and Lawn. It's definitely bug season, and we are priced to earn your business. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Call today for a free evaluation, 479-782-7291. West Termite Pest and Lawn, protecting your home, health, and peace of mind.
All services performed with children and pets in mind.
What's on your to-do list today? Does it include looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? If so, come by and see us at Sharp Equipment today and explore our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer. Whatever your day brings, whatever job it is you need to complete, Wacker Newson Equipment is up to the task, and Sharp Equipment is here to help. Stop in Central Hydraulics and see us at Sharp Equipment, located at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-242-1406.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
The Lynx at Chaffee Crossing prides itself in providing award-winning barbecue. Whether you're craving ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, we can satisfy any appetite. Stop in and watch Razorback baseball and enjoy everyday food and drink specials like $2 domestic beer or $3 premiums. The Lynx at Chaffee Crossing is here and ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Lynx at Chaffee Crossing next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly to mostly sunny skies. Our high temperatures today into the upper 80s. We stay clear tonight, overnight low in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine. Our high in the upper 80s. It looks like Wednesday we'll see a chance of showers and storms. Our high in the upper 70s north, mid 80s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com. We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that would respect you.
If I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're gonna go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Yeah. Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no mock at halftime.
Even one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Text on the McLarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
And welcome into hour number 2 of Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, the C Unit, Kristen Johnston producing in our studios. Calls and texts coming in on the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation in about 15 minutes. Matt, we just got some big information here about our friend, the C Movie. I don't know how you can make it now. Now, you and Ty Richardson, Christian, are not that far apart in age. Yet, like, Ty is all over the Back to the Future trilogy. Like, that was nothing I needed to teach him when we did halftime together and we did halftime homework. There was a lot that he had to learn, but man, he's been through that trilogy about 5 or 6 times. Matt, you did some good digging there. That's very important info.
They only get more Fast and Furious as well. You'll dig them, Christian. It's probably one of the best. If you were to say top 5 trilogies of the 80s, I mean that's up there. It's one of the best.
I think in one of the movies they almost predicted when the Cubs would win their next
They were
World Series.
close.
I think they hit the right year. I think,
I
they got
2015 or 6, but they were at least a year off. But they were
Thumb 100, help save the clock tower.
Well, they've been through. There were a lot of predictions that did come true. The self-tying shoes. Do we have a self-drying jacket yet?
Hoverboard.
The hoverboard is a thing.
Those shoes are sick. Those would be some shoes that I could see. Yeah, the C McFlies. Those are pretty cool.
Here's one. Do you remember the live movie trailer from the movie screen when he's walking in the town square in
the Jaws
in the town and Jaws is coming out. One thing they missed on was that we haven't had a Jaws movie in like 30 years. I mean, at that point, see, you said Fast and Furious.
Well, Sharknado.
Joke, how many? Well, sure, but how many Fast and Furious are there? 10.
OMG! Right. That's
how many Rockies? When you count Creed, I think there are 9 or 10 Rockies, right?
Well,
almost as many as there are ESPNs.
I saw the very first Fast and the Furious, and I've never sat down and watched an entire Rocky.
Same.
I've seen parts of a Rocky, but I've never. So I don't know what that says about me. But I've never seen any of this Star Wars. But I've seen the Back to the Future trilogy 100 times.
Hey, the Star Wars is a trilogy times 3, and then add on like all these other things that have come into it. But Jaws was like the original. It was one of the first movies that went to a 3rd sequel. Because I still remember Jaws 4: The Revenge. I don't remember anything about it except that it really was very poorly reviewed. I don't remember if there was a Jaws 5, but the folks who wrote Back to the Future 2, they were pretty sure there was going to be like a Jaws 28.
Well, they filmed Back to the Future 3 right after Back to the Future 2 as well. Like it was the way they did it in real life. But yeah, man, that's Back to the Future 2 is a classic, and then three's pretty good, even as a standalone almost. The 3's kind of a little different, but it's good.
We don't have flying cars, says JT in Hot Springs, but we actually do. There's just a few people that have enough money to fly on them.
Yeah, what have they been going up into space in? What are those things?
Yeah, what we don't have yet, JT, we actually do. There are flying cars. I'd read a story about this. It's just not mass-produced just yet, but it's on the way. What we don't have are highways in the sky for the flying cars. Not yet. That's going to be in the future at some point, too. Maybe by that point, the SEC tournament will be played somewhere other than Hoover, Alabama. I mean, I'm not going to hold my breath or anything, because that would probably be a very dangerous thing to try and do. I think the SEC tournament has been played here every year since 2002. So every year that Dave Van Horn has been the coach, they finished the season in Hoover. You used to have tournaments that were campus sites. There was an East Division tournament, a West Division tournament. But we haven't been outside of Hoover for it's been like almost 25 years. And I don't know if they're ever going to move out of here. This city does everything they possibly can to ensure that the SEC feels comfortable here. And I've also said, I think one of the reasons they want to have the tournament here is because this is the last event that the folks who run the SEC have to run until media days, until football media days. That is less than 2 months away. So they've had all this. I mean, keep in mind, like, the athletic calendar starts in August. They all travel for almost every one of their championships, and they just were in Auburn for the softball championship. I think that one of the reasons they like to have the tournament here is because the SEC staffers can actually stay home, and then it's still centrally located enough to where it seems to work for them. But I'd love to see it at one of the AAA ballparks that's in the region, like Memphis or there used to be one in New Orleans. I don't know if you can dress that one up, but then you're just turning it into an LSU Invitational, which some people think this tournament already is. Arlington, Texas, I think I think it's kind of tough to build it around the idea of a major league team playing in that park too, and they've had the Big 12 tournament. Maybe that continues. Kansas City, maybe. I mean, that's in the footprint now because of Mizzou. So, but I think that in Hoover it does work out pretty well. Let's take a phone call from Charlie, who's on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Hi, Charlie. How you doing?
What's up, guys? I didn't get to call in last Thursday and Friday, and I will explain. The Tuna had an epic fail. Okay, he thought he was. I don't know what movie he watched or anything like that. He thought he was an athlete, okay? But also, here's the thing. The girl invited me to swim, right? So I go over there, and I got my phone in my trunk, right? I got my phone in my trunk, but I forget to take it out. I decided I'm going to get on that diving board, and I'm fixing to show off. And the Tuna just goes head first.
What just happened here? The show just went off the rails in just a very brief second. There's a girl in a swimming pool involved in this phone call now, Charlie?
Hey, the Tuna decided to go head first and show off and do a dive, and guess what? His phone was in his trunks.
Are you a saltwater fish, Charlie, or are you allowed to swim in fresh water every once in a while?
Hey, either or, Phil. It didn't work out too well, so that's why I didn't get to call in Thursday or Friday, because Tuna was in the dark trying to get a new phone. Half of his paycheck later. So anyway.
Well, now that you've explained it all, and man, I was waiting on the explanation on where the Tune had been. What else is going on?
Well, Phil, I will say this. I really liked how Mason Molina came out of the pen the other day.
Yeah.
In that second game. And, I was actually with my buddy at the time watching the game, and I said, he just looks, I don't know what it is. He looks like he has it or something. He's one of those guys, can be on or off. And I just felt like when he came out, felt really good about it when we took that 3-run lead. Game 3, I really didn't. I'll be honest with you. I didn't much care about it. Like, I know people are frustrated that we got a run rule and all that, but I didn't put much stock into it. Before I go, Matt, I wanted to ask you, man, I got to give the Timberwolves a lot of credit last night. When I cut that game off, they had a 20-point lead. I went to go do something. I came back in there. They took that game from Denver, and this is going to be – I'm not just going to say they're going to beat the Mavs, because I think this is going to be a heck of a series. Two physical teams, C-Unit. your Mavs got a great shot though, because I think they match up well with them. But anyways, I'm gonna hang up and listen. Y'all have a good one.
All right, thank you very much, Charlie.
The only thing I can say is that it's kind of on the coach, Malone. You got to call a time. You got to do something, man. There's just you can't have a 20-point lead and just what just happened. You know, it's on everybody, honestly. I mean, it's on the players as well. But that was talk about we talk a little bit, Phil, about that Atlanta New England Super Bowl and Kyle Shanahan and everybody associated with that and having that lead and not being able to hold. That's the biggest meltdown at home. Up 20 in the third. What? I mean, you can't. When I'm sitting there watching it, I couldn't even believe it what I was seeing.
By the way, do you realize that the two teams in the NHL and the NBA that are in Dallas, they're both playing in their conference finals.
The Dallas Stars, nice.
Yeah, the Stars play Vegas, and of course the Mavs have the T-Wolves, and it works out to a way where I think there's like
they play in the same building.
They will not play, same building, but they won't have a game scheduled the same day at all because there's always a day between. I remember more about the NHL playoffs growing up with the Penguins. There's always a day in between, so I think it works out to where you never have a game on the same day. So that's going to be for Dallas sports fans. What a 2 weeks! Just craziness. And no fingernails left. Absolutely no fingernails left. I wish I was almost, very, very little bit of me wishes I was a Dallas sports fan. Because I remember what it was like when the Penguins played in the deep into the playoffs. Didn't have an NBA team in Pittsburgh, but man, that just must be so exciting. If you got any Stars or Mavs fans out there, if you root for both teams, I mean, call up and let me know what your mindset is here. I mean, you got to. Who knows if this will ever happen again? And maybe both your teams end up in the finals at the same time, too. 877-377-6963 if you want to text about that, because we'll have Mike Irwin coming up in the next segment. And, yeah, they're going to have the NBA and NHL finals and the conference finals at Twin Peaks in Rogers. You get games with wall-to-wall scenic views, around a 29-degree draft beers with your crew, who you got making it through to represent the East and the West. Watch it all at Twin Peaks in Rogers, your sports headquarters, featuring 29-degree draft beer made from scratch fan favorites and sports blasting from every angle. You get the ultimate game day experience at Twin Peaks, or you can get it to go online at twinpeaksrestaurant.com. More TVs, bigger screens, and scenic views. More to watch at Twin Peaks. Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation stops by halftime right after this.
ESPN Arkansas and Phil Elson are live at the 2024 SEC Baseball Tournament. Our coverage is presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, your Omaha's headquarters, the largest selection of Razorback merchandise south of the North Pole. Shop on Razorback.com. It doesn't get any more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Kofer's Boat Center. Kofer's huge selection of new boats can be seen on their website, Kofers.com. That's COPHERS.com. Kofer's Boat Center, providing family fun since 1971.
Baseball in Arkansas, it's just different. It's the atmosphere, the fans, the hope for something greater. All that preseason noise.
Don't make it to Omaha every year. They're disappointed.
Block it out. And when those lights come on, we'll be ready. It's baseball season in Arkansas. This is our time. This is baseball.
Listen to every Razorback baseball game on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Summer is finally here. Come check out Kofer's Boat Center's huge selection of boats with the best incentives in years. Kofer's experienced professionals will answer all your boating questions, and their award-winning customer service with Mercury, Malibu, Lowe, Camus, and Garmin will keep your boat in peak condition. Kofer's also has a fully stocked pro shop and updated RV and boat storage facilities. Find Kofer's online at Kofers.com. That's COPHERS.com. Kofer's Boat Center, your authorized Mercury dealer, helping their customers create a lifetime of memories for over 50 years.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crick hopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The crick hopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel crick hopper.
Ty Richardson for Eastside Liquor, your number one stop for the Hogs Run to Omaha. Every watch party, every event, they can take care of you at Eastside Liquor. Need your favorite beer or seltzer for the Hog Pen? They've got it all at Eastside Liquor. Stop by and see Dave and his team at 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Did I mention it's lake season 2? Regardless of the lake that you spend your summer, the only place you gotta stop before is Eastside Liquor.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hey, Wes.
Billy, hay is for horses. Are my ears that long?
Oh, you got me again. I'm going to order a large Boss Hog pizza for fishing tomorrow.
That's a lot of food. You taking a friend?
No, sir. I'm going to use it as bait.
Pizza as bait for fishing?
Yes'm. The catfish love 'em, some Jim's Razorback pizza.
They do?
Yes'm. They chase the bacon faster than green grass through a goose.
Bacon? Never would have thunk it.
Yup, and they come right to the river's edge when I call them too. Woo! Fish suing!
Oh, blessed Billy. All right, son. Have fun fishing.
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Tired of spending all your hard-earned cash at the gas pump right now? Wheeler Power Sports is here to help you out. They have a giant selection of motorcycles and scooters to help maximize fuel efficiency. There are over 50 scooters in stock right now, with some getting up to 100 miles per gallon. Wheeler also has a great selection of motorcycles from the Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Kimco. Check out their full inventory at WheelerPowersports.com or check out their showroom in person at 901 North 11th Street near downtown Fort Smith. Wheeler Power Sports. Keeping the good times rolling.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Time to hit up our only guest on this Monday on Halftime. We've got Mike Irwin with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline from Pig Trail Nation. Mike, what's new, man? How you doing? Welcome back to work.
I've been back a week, but it's all right. You know, we're now in postseason for baseball officially. A&M series was interesting. Friday night game, man, you got your fastest guy at third base. What inning was it? I can't even remember, 9th, 10th, something. You got your fastest guy at third base, one out, can't get him home. Maybe your best hitter strikes out. You had a ball, I think, by White hit to the fence, another foot higher, and it's a home run. And then you bring in McIntyre in the 11th, 2 outs. He's got to get one guy out with the bases loaded, and he walks in the winning run. So now you're in a pickle. But they did come back and win Game 2. Game 3 was interesting because when the Aggies put that game out of reach, Dave Van Horn explained that he's not going to waste any pitching at that point. So they run rule Arkansas. They go bonkers at the stadium. I got the sound down because I don't listen to TV games with the sound up. So I don't know what's going on. I find out later their 12th man guy, I guess, got up and got the base hit that gave them the 10-run lead. And so they went bonkers. And my only reaction to that is, going all the way back to when I was 8 or 9 years old, I've always been aware that the Aggies' traditions are more important to them than actually winning anything, because they finished 4th overall, 2nd in the West, and by finishing 4th, because of the way it worked out with the other games, they're actually the 4 seed in the same side of the bracket with Tennessee, who I think is the best team in the SEC right now. So it was just a weird weekend the way it all worked out.
Yeah, that was Ryan Targach, who was wearing number 12. He'd been their starting second baseman 2 years in a row, and then pushed out of a job this year. And he was the one who had. And I have trouble calling it a game-winning hit when all it does is get you the run rule victory. But that is why they had exploded. I'll say this. Now, look, Mike, they're not playing in any hostile atmospheres anymore, because any postseason games will either be played at Baum-Walker Stadium or in Omaha, where we call it Baum-Walker North with all the Razorback fans that show up. But coming back on Friday after a heartbreaking loss in front of that crowd, I think A&M is the toughest place to play in the SEC, outside of maybe Baum, because these fans are right on top of you. They're into every single pitch, and they're good baseball fans. I didn't like that they were still doing their Ball 5 chant when it was obvious Cooper Dawson was hurt, but that's a really difficult place to play. They have a real home field advantage there.
Well, I don't know. They do that. What is that thing they're doing? Are they trying to put a hex on you, like bring down evil spirits on the pitcher when they do that thing with their fingers?
Yeah, they were doing that to McIntyre. That's right. They were putting a voodoo on him or something.
Well, they did that the entire Friday game, and it was how many pitchers? 6 Arkansas pitchers go 10 2/3 innings, and it doesn't work, and it finally works on McIntyre, I guess. So they're persistent, I will say that. The big question now is, what does Dave Van Horn do for the conference tournament? Because now they got a Wednesday game, they got a Thursday game. I don't know. You could pitch Gage Wood if you want on 4 days rest and just have him go, 30, 40 pitches. You go with Hagen Smith with 5-day rest, the same thing. Or you could pitch Tigert, who's been off a week and a half. I do think they probably want to try to win a couple of games there, and then after that, if you win those 2 games, I don't think you play again till Saturday, and then it doesn't really matter that much. But I don't know. It's intriguing. It'll be interesting and I haven't seen that he's announced his pitchers yet. Maybe he has, and I haven't looked at the internet. But that's what's interesting to me.
Hey, Mike, who would be the best matchup? Who would you like to see us play, either Alabama or South Carolina?
Oh, South Carolina. Alabama has just kind of lately been kind of a tough team for Arkansas to play sometimes when it made no sense, like this year. So, yeah, I definitely go with South Carolina.
Well, what's at stake for Arkansas in this week? Anything? What do you think this tournament means for them? And look, I know some people will be like, just don't get hurt and come home. And if that's your answer, fine. But what is important this week?
Well, with their strength of schedule, I really don't think they get knocked out of a top 8 seed, even if they went 2 and out. I could be wrong, but I don't think they would. So what is at stake? I think there's a lot more at stake with what they could gain at the plate. I think that's what you look at. They continue to try to get Kendall Diggs going. I mean, he's just so valuable out in right field. You got to play him. So maybe he comes through. Does Hudson White continue to be hot? Because he is hot. I got to tell you guys, I had to call my Texas Tech buddies after that win and go, hey, guess who made that win happen? Molina and White. And they're like, because Tech has gone to seed, man. They backed into the Big 12 tournament by a rain out, and they're probably going nowhere in postseason. So that was interesting to see that thing happen. But again, I think they've got more to gain. Maybe somehow if you pitch McIntyre, and he's trying to get McIntyre back some confidence, maybe if something happened in Birmingham that would help him with his pitching. But I really think what you can gain there is hitting. You just got to continue to work on some guys. Again, I mean, everybody's a critic, but you look at that 1-0 loss and you just think to yourselves, maybe Peyton Stovall bunts there instead of strikes out swinging. I don't know, but I don't want to say home runs aren't important, and I understand why they swing for the fences sometimes, but it just seems like sometimes they don't need that. But I don't know what they'll do, what their approach will be, but I do think you have more to gain probably just by if your hitting gets a little bit better in Birmingham than your pitching, because I think the pitching is fine. I think what happened in that weekend series against Mississippi State was it wasn't normal. I don't think it translated to anything. I thought their pitching was fine in College Station.
Hey, Mike, give me a winner. Who wins the SEC baseball tournament this year?
I think Tennessee. They're really hot right now, and I like their side of the bracket. Again, I think the Aggies got the booby prize by being placed on their side of the bracket. So I'd go with Tennessee. I don't think Dave Van Horn is going to go all out trying to win the SEC baseball tournament. I just don't think he'll do that.
Softball ended a lot earlier than I think any of us would have expected. 0-2 in the home regional. It's disappointing because a couple of years ago you were that close to making it to Oklahoma City, and last year lost in a home regional. This year 2-out, which just it doesn't feel good. Well, not 2-out. I know they won the first game, but to lose the last two, 1-2 in the home regional just felt like a little bit of backsliding this year.
Yeah, they were the only regional host that didn't make it, to the regional finals. And look, it was a 2-2 game against Villanova in the fourth. They just tied it up in the top of the fourth. And you got 2 outs. You got Linestock pitching, your best pitcher. You got 2 outs in that inning, but 2 on, and then a 2 RBI double. Stretched it out 4-2, and they ended up scoring 5 straight runs and won it easy 7-2. They sort of, to me, were like an exaggerated version of Arkansas. They didn't hit well, and so they had to rely on their pitching, and their pitching sometimes wasn't good, like in this game. And when it isn't, you got no chance because you get 6 hits in that game. You can't overcome that if your pitching is not good. So I do think they need to go out and get some hitters. I know they landed one of the top hitting coaches in the country, and I've had people tell me he did make a difference with some of these ladies, but maybe they gotta recruit. I don't know, but 2 years ago, Deifel was probably one of the most highly regarded young coaches on campus, and now people are starting to get mad. That's expectations. That's what that does for you. No more. The softball team is not at a point now where people are going to go, oh, well, at least we got a regional. They want to do something. And, yeah, there was a lot of grumbling, especially on the internet, and the attendance wasn't very good either. Now, they did go up against Arkansas for part of that game, but the baseball team, but it was over by the time that game really got going good. So I don't know what the issue there is, but I think the interest in softball has dropped off a little bit, and those that are interested in it are kind of getting a little frustrated.
Wow, that's interesting. Well, I guess you always want to feel like there's positive momentum. You felt a little bit of that last year. Even winning an SEC baseball championship but losing in a home regional. It's just that's what people will take away. And I try to in the first hour I tried to. Just like I hate the insulting attitude of, oh, a West Division championship doesn't mean anything, with the understanding that, yes, your season is defined by what happens in the postseason, and that goes for basketball and that goes for baseball. But you still have to, man. I mean, I think the guys who wear the uniform deserve the respect of. They're not the same team that was there last year. It's not the same team from 2 years ago. Each year is different, and they should be treated with the proper respect of great season right now, guys, division champions. I think it's the toughest thing to do in college sports, really, is to win the SEC West.
Well, the consistency that Van Horn has shown with this team, and then you got to ask yourself, what do fans value the most? Do they value that consistency, or do they want to be an Ole Miss who finally wins a national championship, but then the bottom falls out after that? You know, I think you want to get greedy, and you want both. You want continued success, but you want to win it all. Somebody was asking me if this was Van Horn's best coaching job, and I said, well, there's no way to evaluate that right now because postseason has a lot to do with that. And I go back to 2 years ago when they really didn't get their own regional. And then the job that he and that team did, to win in Stillwater, to go to North Carolina and then make the College World Series field, and to get one win against Ole Miss, who ended up winning the whole thing. I think they lost a chance to get into the championship series like 2-0, something like that. So to me, that was a great coaching job. I don't think the script has been written yet on this year. It's been kind of up and down. Everybody's mad about the hitting, happy with the pitching. Now the pitching, as you get into the part of your schedule where you're playing better teams, the pitching isn't quite what it was. But again, you win the West. That's important. Now let's see what happens, and a lot of that has to do with who's in your regional field and who's on the other side if you win a regional and play in a super. So again, to evaluate DVH right now, I wouldn't do it. I would wait till the year was over.
Mike, we'll leave it there. Appreciate you hopping on with us. Thanks for your time. We're off next week, so we'll talk in a couple weeks, okay?
Okay, hopefully good news by then.
That's right.
Thanks, Mike.
All right.
Mike Irwin, Pig Trail Nation, with us each Monday, at least when it's not, Memorial Day. And our baseball conversations here in Hoover, presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, your Omaha's headquarters. Locally owned and operated, and the largest selection of Razorback merchandise south of the North Pole. Shop on Razorback.com. Doesn't get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. You can get with us as well. The McLarty Daniel hotline is open, 877-377-6963. Halftime is back right after this.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Attention Arkansas, Red River Dodge is the place to be with over 50 new Chargers and Challengers in stock and over 100, yes, 100 new Ram 1500s ready to roll. Plus, get up to $15,000 off MSRP on a new Ram Heavy Duty. Make that beautiful drive to Heber Springs or check us out online at redriverdodge.com. And always remember, at Red River, we deliver.
During It's the Season sales event.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MBA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
This is Halftime.
It's the Memorial Day Hail Sale at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. The biggest savings of the summer are right now.
Yes, and Tommy, most of these cars, if you walk out here and look at them, you can't even see the damage that's actually on these cars. But what you can see is the savings on the hang tag hanging from that rearview mirror. I mean, you're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars in savings on pre-owned vehicles. I mean, we've got used vehicles out there with up to $10,000 off in savings.
You get the discount that was already on the vehicle, plus the hail money that goes along with it.
Yes, definitely. And we've even got new. We've got a couple of new cars out there that were here during that hailstorm also, and they'll have some discounts. Hey, this is going to be a hell of a sale. You got to get down here and see us. You want to save some money, get you a good interest rate, get you a good price on a car, and hey, we can even fix these cars in the process too.
Slight damage means big savings for you. It's the Memorial Day Hail Sale. Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw.
Oh no, what happened to your windshield?
I had an accident. I'm definitely going to have to get a new one.
You should call Mr. Auto Glass on Towson Avenue.
I have to be careful. I have all this technology in my windshield.
Technology?
Yes, things like adaptive cruise, rain sensing wipers, and lane assistant.
Well, the folks over at Mr. Auto Glass can definitely calibrate all of that for you. They are super friendly and fast. You should give them a call.
What's that number?
782-4441.
Okay, I'll give Mr. Auto Glass a call. 782-4441.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hey, I'm Arkansas pitcher Hagen Smith. Unlock huge savings as a Pascal Plan Protection member for just $8.99 a month. Enjoy annual AC tune-ups, priority scheduling, and discounts on repairs. Plus, these benefits extend to your plumbing and electrical needs, too. Sign up now and get up to $350 in instant savings on a water heater, electric panel, or new AC system. With their friendly budget payment plans, you'll never overpay for your home services. Don't wait. Visit gopascal.com today to schedule your service or to start your membership.
Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get 1.9% financing for 60 months on remaining 2023 Buick Envisions. Or choose up to $3,500 in factory discounts. The Buick Envision, it's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
It's all staring on you. Broken hearts will hold and true. It's all
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Back on Halftime. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, the C Unit producing, 877-377-6963 to get with us here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Oh, Greg in Farmington says, yeah, Michael Caine was in Jaws 4. I'd forgotten about that. One of the all-time great actors.
Sir Michael Caine.
That it would be a sir to you and me. Roy Scheider was in the original Jaws. And who's forgetting some of the actors from that movie? You've seen Jaws, right, Matt? We're trying to see. You haven't seen it, no? You'd never go to the beach again if you did.
I've not. Well, you know, mine is I dress like a beekeeper anyways when I go to the beach. So
do I, but I'll still go.
I like the trade winds. I mean, the breeze is just the breeze you get on the beach. It can be a beautiful thing.
Richard Dreyfuss. That's the guy that I, for some reason, wasn't remembering all of a sudden. Mr. Holland, who is also in. So this is in my top 5, and you know my top 5 will change all the time. But Close Encounters of the Third Kind, yeah, he was the star in that one. Yeah, Jaws is worth your time. Robert Shaw's in it. The scene where Shaw, spoiler alert, the captain of the main ship gets killed, gets eaten by the shark. Okay. The movie came out in 1975. It's okay for me to say this. It's older than I am. And Robert Shaw was the captain, and he dies a good death. It's a really good death. C Unit, if you got a thing for good deaths in movies, Robert Shaw's movie in Jaws would be worth your time too. Just trying to figure out something for him to watch this weekend. I forgot about this too, because he died recently. Was it recently? Scheider died in Little Rock. I don't exactly know why he was there. Let's see. Where else could this tournament be played? Everybody always says, why do we have to hold this thing in Hoover all the time? There really isn't anything wrong with Hoover. It's just not. It's not a glorious ballpark with the bells and the whistles. So the Big Ten plays their baseball tournament this year in Omaha at Charles Schwab, which is the site of the College World Series. I mean, so that's bells and whistles right there for them. It's also not many of those teams make it to the College World Series, so it's their one chance to play at that stadium. Some of the other conference tournaments, I don't know where the Big 12 is this year. Sometime they play it in Oklahoma City. Sometime it's in Arlington at the Ranger Stadium. I think eventually, and something tells me that the SEC may have potentially tried to kick the tires on playing the tournament at the Rangers ballpark. I mean, the Rangers have shown they want college baseball there, but they want it there in March or February. They already announced Arkansas will play the second weekend of the season next year in Arlington. I think they're going to play there every year until the end of time. So maybe that's a place that could do it. Houston might fit if they're interested in a postseason tournament. But part of this is you got to convince the people who run these stadiums to host you. And you're paying them a lot of money and everything, but the logistics that go into it, because usually these ballparks have tenants, right? Like, who plays at Memphis? Yeah, you want to play the SEC championship there. There's a AAA team that plays there. The Rangers obviously play in Arlington. I just don't think it's as easy as saying, well, we got to do this, so let's do it. No one else plays in Hoover. They can treat this as if it is the SEC's baseball park, and it is. It is maintained for two things, for Hoover High football and for the SEC baseball championship, and that is it. And I think that there's some value in that.
Well, and I was going to ask, when does the contract run out? Is there a new venue in mind, or is it still going to continue to be at Hoover?
I think they had just recently re-upped the contract. I don't remember how long, but the basketball tournaments. Heck, they've got that in Nashville, I think, through 2030. So they scheduled that out pretty long. The SEC women's tournament is in Greenville, South Carolina, and I think you got another at least 3 or 4 years on that schedule. Now, there's reasons, I think, outside of that it's within the SEC's footprint for hosting those tournaments there. You have the basketball tournament in Nashville because it's right there by Kentucky. I mean, it's like I talked with Bub about this earlier today on Bases Loaded. There's some teams, some programs that just treat the SEC tournament as if it means a ton, that we are coming here to win this. LSU baseball is one of those teams because their fans show up here like nobody else. There will be 10,000 LSU baseball fans at their game tomorrow morning at 9:30. They will be there, and they always are there. It's like the Kentucky fans show up at the SEC tournament, Matt. I think that's one of the reasons they place it there. Yes, nice city, big league arena, but it's easier for the Kentucky fans to get there. Why is the women's tournament held in Greenville, South Carolina? It's a short drive from from the campus of South Carolina. It's not far from Tennessee. They can show up and make it really easy to do it. And I think that they host the baseball tournament in Hoover partially because it's that close to where some fan bases will travel from. Baton Rouge, Oxford, Starkville. Arkansas gets some fans that show up, but it is a lengthier drive from Fayetteville. So we want the tournament to move. I just don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon.
Where's the Grapefruit League, the Cactus League, where these minor league teams go for spring training? I mean, is there like a facility like that could be used? Like Orlando, don't they have a couple ballparks? Maybe you could use it down there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know what the ballpark setup is like in Orlando, but you could potentially do something like that. It's just that those ballparks are usually used then by a single A team.
Okay.
That is like owned by the major league team. And so
I didn't know if they were in proximity, like if you had 4 of them close to each other and you could kind of,
they're all close by.
Yeah,
Heck,
that's what I thought.
I would figure you could pull some sort of a tournament in the Cactus League ballparks because it's closer than a lot of the Grapefruit League parks. JT in Hot Springs does point this out, that the Mississippi Braves Stadium is vacant after this year. That's the Double A affiliate of the Braves in Pearl, Mississippi, right outside Jackson, and they're moving. They're moving to Columbus, Georgia next year. So there's going to be a ballpark that's just wide open there waiting for something, and I don't know if they've got anything planned for it. So rather than it go to the weeds, maybe they'll try to make a bid for the SEC tournament. Now that's the other aspect of it. They have to make a bid for it too, and it would have to be the city of Pearl that would make a bid for it. And there's more that goes into that. I mean, you've got to get the police have to get involved in this. Like every team, when they get bused to the ballpark, and the park's only like a 8 or 9 minute drive away, they all get the police escort. So it has to go in with. It's not just opening a stadium. It's any of the hotels that are nearby. It's the police that are involved in it as well. And it just seems like it's maybe a little easier than, or a little more difficult than we think it is. But I also have a sense that I think the SEC really likes to play the tournament here in Hoover. I think the offices like to play it here. I don't really think that the coaches mind very much either. So I think we're going to be here for a while. But I do wonder about the lack of divisions now. So I mean, I'm trying to push, Matt, the idea that a division championship means something inside a league that obviously doesn't care if they're divisions or division champions either in any of the sports. We've done away with it in football for this next year. There will not be divisions any longer in baseball, and I just wonder who made the decision about this. I can see the reasoning for football. I don't see the reasoning for baseball at all with 30 games. Like I even asked Dave about it, was there a vote by the coaches? He wasn't even sure about it. He was vocal about his disapproval of doing away with divisions, but I don't think anybody listened to him. It just doesn't seem like it was a decision made by baseball people. Mr. Pibb wants the tournament to be played in Grayson Park in Savannah, Georgia, which would probably be the oldest park to host a college tournament. Hey, I saw the Ivy League tournament, Matt, had to move. They were playing in New York City at Columbia's Field, and Columbia's Field is all turf. Even the pitcher's mound is turf, just like Vanderbilt. Well, after all this time, I don't know the last time they'd replaced the turf there. There's a tear in the turf on the pitcher's mound where the pitcher's foot lands. You can't have that. Now, if you had a regular field, or even just a field that Kentucky has, that's artificial except for the mound and the dirt, and the mound is clay, you can rebuild it. You can dig out a little spot where there's a hole, and you can put more clay back in there, and put more clay back in there over and over, and then tamp it down, and it's ready to go. You can't fix an artificial mound unless you get somebody with some severe sewing skills. So they had to move the rest of the Ivy League tournament from New York City to where I think it's called Montclair College plays in New Jersey at Yogi Berra Stadium. So, you don't have to worry about that here in Hoover. This is, outside of Baum Walker, this is the most perfectly manicured field in the SEC, and nobody's played on it except for Hoover High. So that goes into it too. You get a perfectly manicured field because hardly anybody plays on this place. 877-377-6963 if you want to get with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Our baseball conversations brought to you by Kofer's Boat Center in Fort Smith. Huge selection of new boats. You can see now on their website, Kofers.com. Your trusted dealer for Malibu, Axis, Camus, Lowe, and much more. Kofer's Boat Center, providing family fun since 1971. And halftime is back to wrap up hour number 2 in just a moment.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade, so now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westart Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westart Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Insurance company throwing you a curveball? Are they crowding the plate and not offering you a fair settlement? If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need an experienced attorney to fight for you. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma, no win, no fee. Call Mock Legal Solutions today for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jim. They have several locations in the Arkansas area, but I specifically want to talk to you about Jim Mart number 10. Great deli. My goodness. Great lunch, great dinner. But have you had the breakfast yet? It's the best in town. And they have that convenient drive-through window. So when you're on your way out of town to head to Little Rock, Russellville, Northwest Arkansas, Oklahoma City, or somewhere else, stop by Jim Mart number 10. 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith. Jim, the leading gas station and convenience store in the area.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts need, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
We're going over to the Johnson's yard. You're gonna love it. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet over there.
But what about that yard over there?
Oh, we can't go in that yard. You see that yellow sign? That says Mosquito Joe. What do you think, I was born yesterday?
Actually, yeah. We both were.
Don't be a mosquito buffet this year. Call Mosquito Joe for a free quote at 479-202-9960 or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com. Outside is fun again.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Dallas Street Dental. Refuse to compromise when it comes to replacing missing teeth. Dr. Bill Ligon at Dallas Street Dental can make your smile look, feel, and function almost exactly the way it did before you lost any teeth. In some cases, even better. Dental implants function like your natural teeth and make it possible for you to enjoy those juicy steaks this grilling season. Look younger and smile with confidence with dental implants from Dallas Street Dental. Schedule your free implant consultation today at 479-452-6600.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Rehab, I said no. Yes, I've been black, but when I come back, no. I ain't got the time. My daddy thinks I'm fine. Let's try to make me go to rehab. I won't go. I'd rather be at home with 17 days. There's nothing you can teach me.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Let's go right to the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Got Robert in Fort Smith with us today. Robert, how you doing, man?
Hey, Phil, how are you? I
good.
just got to see what your thoughts are on something. We've all been talking about this West thing. Do you feel like, from a fan base, though, that I feel like we're the upper echelon, kind of like Georgia football and Alabama football, without championships, but where, I think we can go anywhere in the country we want to and get who we want to. But I also feel like if we don't go to Omaha, just like those Georgia and Alabama fans not going to national playoffs, it's a bust. I mean, I'm not taking away that you don't get it, but I just feel like we're that good anymore, and the expectation is that high, and I just want to see what some of your thoughts are.
Well, yeah, I mean, because you're used to a certain level of success, and the program's at a certain place. So in our minds, that means that if you don't get there, and you're used to being there, and that's where you feel like you belong, then that makes the season, a non-success. And I can see where you're coming from there. I mean, look at last year, an SEC championship, but an out in the regional, and no one. It's tough to stomach going out of the regional like that. But I think at that point, you got to look at it in two ways. I try to take anything that happens in the regular season and just try to treat it like it's in a vacuum, because it's a long season. And again, I feel like any Razorback baseball team, just like Georgia football or Alabama football, like you bring them up, any one of those programs is going into a season thinking that we're going to win an SEC championship, we're gonna play for a national championship, and we're gonna win that national championship, because that's why you go and play at those schools. Same way you come to Arkansas. And if you don't reach it, there's going to be a level of disappointment. And it's not like winning a division or a regular season conference championship is a consolation prize. It's a separate achievement, and it should be treated like that. So I don't know if that explains, my feeling behind it very well, because I'm around the program just as much, if not more, than the fans are, and I feel that disappointment. If they lose in a home regional, yes, it's a crushing loss. I'd feel it, and I'd be just as disappointed as anybody else. But the day after you win a division championship that's so difficult to pull off 5 times in 6 years, you'd say, is that difficult? Yes, it is. I stand back at this and look at it in awe. Say, that's amazing to be that consistently good over this amount of time. Third hour in just a moment.
It's the Memorial Day Hell Sale at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got trophies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor A from Woodland. Read about it.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head.
I have zero respect for saying no mock at halftime.
Even one Razorback.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Text on the McLarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Back here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. We're into hour number 3 of halftime. I'm Phil Elson, live in Hoover, Alabama, where it is a beautiful sunny day. Kind of shocking considering all the rain we usually get here and the rain that we saw in Texas. Matt Jones just popped up. What fizzy beverage you just popped open? What you got?
Aldi's. Yeah.
Went with the
pure.
Well, I would say that's not a non-brand, but it is the store brand.
$3.78 a 12-pack. You know that some of these.
That's what matters.
These Bubbles and what's the other kind? The LaCroix, Topo Chico. They're just a little. It's the best deal in town, right there.
Hey, some of us pay a little bit more for Bubbles than others, right?
Texas A&M, I think they're high on the list.
Yes. Yes, there were a lot of bubbles that flew around on Saturday. That was a bit of an annoyance. We didn't have any bubbles on Thursday until the very last inning, and then there are a few bubbles on Friday. I do think that's one of the cooler traditions for a home crowd to have. I hate it when they're doing it because it means they've scored runs, but I don't mind it because it's actually kind of neat.
West Ham, the Hammers in London, they're a soccer team in the Premier League. That's their stick too. They do the bubbles, got the bubbles machine, and yep.
Do they rent them out to people? So
Hey,
like we
they're
rent out flags at Baum Walker. They rent bubble machines to fans at Bluebell Park.
They're hooligans over there. You know, you never know what you're gonna find.
I think there's some hooligans in College Station too. Some of them were booing, or no, they weren't booing. They were doing their Ball 5 chant when Cooper Dossett went down with his arm injury. And it was pretty obvious, too, that he was hurt. So I found that to be a little bit classless. You can tell when a pitcher's hurt. Anybody. Just
like
the
if
way
he's
he lets go of the
injured.
ball.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can absolutely tell. Got a text in here from Brandon in Paris. He's asking, how much longer does DVH have as a coach? And he asks, could this be one of his last best chances to win a national title? He wonders how many more Higgins Smiths will he have? Well, Brandon, his name is Gabe Gackle, and he might be the next Hagen Smith. Truthfully, as good as that kid is in the situations he's been pitching in this year, Gabe Gackle is the next Hagen Smith.
Well, and the thing with Van Horn, it's how long does he want to do it? I mean, if he wants to be here, he's going to be here. I mean, it's 5-10 years, whatever it's kind of up to him.
No, I don't think this is his last best chance to win a national title because they've got. Look, I mean, you get this great recruiting class that has come in with all these great pitchers, and we'll get a chance to see them again. Although that's where some of these injuries have occurred. The elbow injury to Colin Fisher, I don't think knocks him out for next year because he had the brace surgery rather than the more invasive TJ surgery. So he might be available for next year. I mean, like aside from Gackle, Gage Wood is a starting pitcher next year. Gage has looked terrific, absolutely terrific. And Christian Fouch, just think of the growth that Christian's made this season. Next year, he might be able to continue it for more than 1 to 2 innings. And I'm not saying he's a starter because I don't think he is, but I think he'll be a closer and a frontline closer and maybe one of the best in the SEC. I think you see really good things from Parker Coyle of late. So there's a lot of really talented pitchers that are already on the team this year that are back next season. And just look at the players who should be returning for another season. Aloy is a sophomore. And he's got, I mean, this kid is dripping with possibilities.
He's got talent. He's
been
a lot of
really
talent.
good this year, but there's a step forward for him. I think he could be a lot better, and I think he will be. Ryder Helfrich, I mean, he's only scratched the surface this year. I think there'll be great things for him. And one of the more intriguing guys is Jason Jones, who got a chance against A&M this last weekend and just struck out way too much. But I still think there's a chance for Jason Jones to have that third season that we saw from Chad Spanberger in 2017. I mean, Spanberger he was pretty close to being a zero for like 2.5 years. And then all of a sudden, halfway through the junior season, it just clicked. And you couldn't get anything past him. Jones is more talented than Spanberger was. So if he can figure a little bit of it all around next year, he'll be great next season. And then there's Nolan Souza, who is just absolutely dripping with talent too. So, I mean, I'm not going to tell you that they'll be in the same position next year that they are right now, but I think you got a really, really good team coming back next season. And look, the way that they recruit, I think you should have the opportunity to play at this level almost every year because those facilities aren't going away. The amount of money that the school puts into the program isn't going away. It might be changing in how the money is spent, but they'll be putting it into baseball. And with DVH as the coach, I mean, I'm not going to put a number on him, but he's doing I see a coach who's learned to adjust to so many different things in just the way that you manage a game from how he might have managed a game or coached a team 20 years ago to now with the difference in the way that you even construct the team and the things you got to pay attention to and the NIL and all of that. And look at all the coaches that have gotten out of college basketball and college football and even college baseball in the last few years just because they didn't want to be a general manager and worry about what they're paying players. Dave's right in it, man. He's into it. I don't see him leaving anytime soon. There's no reason to. Got some callers lined up. Let's take some calls. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the McLarty Daniel hotline. JR in Shady Grove is first up. Hey, JR, what's going on?
Hey, guys. How y'all doing today?
Good, thank you.
Good. You know what? People, Arkansas fans, baseball fans, they have to approach the sport of baseball in a different mentality than you do football and basketball. And the thing of it is if you can get a coach to get their team to peak at the right time, that's $1 million question. Are you able to do that as a coach? To get the players to do that. They got just as good chance as anybody going into this. I mean, their talent level is there, their pitching is there if they can stay healthy. But it's a whole different ball game whenever whenever you're talking baseball. There's so many things that can go down in a game that can change. What was it a few years ago? Tennessee was number one all season long. They got into the tournament, lost, was it first round in the regional or super regional after being number one all year long or something like that. Some
that
kind
was
of
a
ridiculous
super against
thing.
Notre Dame, and the same thing happened to the Hogs the next year.
So that's everybody. You got to have patience with baseball. You don't want to because you want to see stuff happen, but you got to have patience with baseball. Y'all have a good day.
Appreciate that, JR. Thank you very much.
Did Ross Lovich get any at bats against A&M?
No.
Okay.
No, he didn't get out
I was
there at
pulling
all.
I was pulling for him, but he didn't. Maybe he'll get a couple hacks, couple tries in the SEC tournament.
Jeff in Fayetteville, next on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Great. Phil and Matt, I was at that game, and people, if there's anybody that doubts this team because of that performance on Saturday, then if you were there, you understand. I mean, that was an incredible crowd. They were boisterous, rude, and among other things, but they were super loud. And for Molina to do what he did and knock 9 in a row out in front of that crowd, I mean, they were yelling Mace. And I don't know if it came through on the broadcast, but you know what I'm talking about, Phil. And the way they played, I was super proud of that team.
There's no doubt about that, Jeff. I think that's the most hostile environment that this team has played in front of all year long. I can't imagine one that's tougher than that, other than maybe a game at Baum Walker or a sellout Friday night at LSU or Ole Miss. It's just that's up there with it. And you got to take Saturday and just ball it up and throw it away. Saturday's game didn't mean anything. Yeah, I mean Will did not pitch well. That's a thing that does worry you because he didn't have a good weekend. So hopefully this week, he gets more to where he was against Mississippi State that Friday because he pitched a couple of scoreless innings in that game. Hewlett didn't have a great outing, but, I mean, Stone's been great all year long. I wouldn't worry about that very much. Saturday's game is a throwaway. I think it's a total throwaway. The worst thing about it is that Cooper got hurt. I hated that for him because I think he would have pitched this week, and you need all the depth you can get in the postseason. There's no two ways about that, but, I mean, just take Saturday's 14-4 loss and throw it out. It doesn't matter very much. They haven't been run ruled this year. They've treated every other game a lot differently than I think they treated Saturday in College Station. Andy in Bentonville next up. Hey, Andy, thanks for the call. How are you?
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. This phone call is about a month late post-NFL draft, and I wanted your opinion on this, both of you. Matt, how does like a Spencer Rattler, the quarterback from Tennessee, I want to say his last name is Milton, the quarterback from Tulane, get picked in the draft, and Sam Hartman is overlooked with a great career at Wake in a decent year at Notre Dame with no receivers to throw to? Is it like the Brady Quinn effect because he has jinxed every other quarterback to ever go through the dawn again? I don't understand how that young man was not drafted. Just like your opinions on that.
For the only thing that I've seen, I haven't scouted him, but I did watch a couple of his games, is arm strength. He does not have you have to have a hose to play at that level, and he does not.
Well, what I know about Joe Milton and Spencer Rattler is that they have that kind of arm strength.
They're just not very good. Yeah, and I get your point. I mean, Sam Hartman's a better quarterback than those guys, but they got to get to it as far as that. You have to have a certain, I don't know, like a 7 is like the least amount your arm strength has to be, and he has like a 5. He just does not throw it hard.
Let's take another call. We got Daniel in Uniontown here. Hi, Daniel. Thanks for calling. How are you?
Doing good. Talking about the baseball team, I'm not trying to be dismissive. I know a lot of fans are dismissive of the SEC West titles year after year, not want to be dismissive about it, but Arkansas has one of the top 5, top 3 all-time college baseball coaches in DVH. At what point do we draw the line and say, you can win all of the regular season accolades, you can have all of those? When is when are we going to draw the line and say, okay, you have to have a national championship now? I'll listen to y'all's thoughts. Thank you.
Well, hold on real quick, Daniel, because when you say something like draw the line, that's like a hard line. It's like, all right, well, you either win a national title or you're not coaching here anymore. That's the way I hear that.
No, not draw the line as not coaching here anymore, but like every Razorback baseball fan, when we talk to other baseball fans in college, I mean, we always talk about, we have one of the best head coaches in the history of college baseball, which Dave Van Horn is one of those. But he doesn't have the staple of his resume yet. But we always consider him to be the best. I honestly consider him to be one of the best college baseball head coaches. But when is he going to get the staple of, as Arkansas fans, we boast to other fan bases that we have the best coach, the SEC. Where do we draw the line of, is he the best in the SEC just because he doesn't have the title yet? Or
right, I get it. Now I see where you're coming from. Okay, so it's not a matter of, fired or you win a national title. It's, I don't know. I mean, it's like you're trying to figure out how you can get the trump card on other fan bases for an argument about who's the best coach here and there. And I don't know how to deal in absolutes like that. All I know is that there's a ridiculous amount of consistency, and I mean, he wouldn't be here 22 years if there wasn't that kind of consistency. So I'm impressed by that kind of consistency. Does a lack of a national title take away 1,201 Division I wins? No, it doesn't. Does that also mean that, somebody that caught lightning in a bottle and won a national title but has had tough seasons, around that is a better coach? I think that there's some luck involved in some of that. But that always goes on with the conversation. I mean, just look at you talk about who belongs in the Hall of Fame for quarterbacks in the NFL, and the first thing that so many people point to is how many Super Bowls did this guy win?
Is he the Charles Barkley of guys? The Dan Marino? Is that what you're saying, David? Phillip Rivers, even? I mean, it's hard to win, Phil. I mean, there's only one champion each year. It's a hard job.
And I could see, and Daniel, I think, had texted in earlier, and I understand the fans' perspective on it. I just wish that after when you win the division championship, look, no one's talking in 3 or 4 months about, remember that division title that we won? They're talking about what you did in June. They're more talking football in a few months, but if they're looking back on the baseball season, they're looking at what happened in June. I just would like that the day or 2 or 3 or 4 after the division championship is wrapped up, that it isn't about but, or this is why this team isn't going to win the national title, or this is why they're not going to get to Omaha. It's like, it's a nice achievement, but I would just rather, I'm not telling not to have an opinion or everything. It's just where the conversation goes next. It's always the but. I would rather. And that's the way that I'm trying to look at it is, how did they get to where they are right now? This is where people expected them to be to begin with. And do they have what it takes to get to the College World Series? Yes, they do. I think they most definitely do. I'm not in the place right now of saying, but they don't have the national title, or but their offense is the reason why they're not going to win this or that. And I feel like there's a lot of folks who are taking that attitude towards it. It's a fatalistic attitude. I understand. You've been given reasons to feel that way. I'm in awe of a team that wins a division championship 5 times in 6 years or 6 full seasons. And I don't know. That's the attitude I take with it. Next is Steven. No, we can't take Steven's call because we are right up against the break, Steven. If you can hold through the break, we'll take your call right when we come out of it. More calls and texts at 877-377-6963. It's halftime, and we'll be right back.
ESPN Arkansas and Phil Elson are live at the 2024 SEC Baseball Tournament. Our coverage is presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, your Omaha's headquarters, the largest selection of Razorback merchandise south of the North Pole. Shop on Razorback.com. It doesn't get any more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Kofer's Boat Center. Kofer's huge selection of new boats can be seen on their website, Kofer's.com. That's COPHERS.com. Kofer's Boat Center, providing family fun since 1971.
Bud Walton Arena, where it is about as loud as a building could get. The loudest arena to start a game I've ever been in.
This is a hard place. You don't come here expecting to win. Let me tell you that.
The name, the brand, the identity that he brings to a program that has a storied, rich tradition, an outstanding fan base in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
It's the Memorial Day Hail Sale at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. The biggest savings of the summer are right now.
Yes, and Tommy, most of these cars, if you walk out here and look at them, you can't even see the damage that's actually on these cars. But what you can see is the savings on the hang tag hanging from that rearview mirror. I mean, you're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars in savings on pre-owned vehicles. I mean, we've got used vehicles out there with up to $10,000 off in savings.
You get the discount that was already on the vehicle, plus the hail money that goes along with it.
Yes, definitely. And we've even got we've got a couple of new cars out there that were here during that hailstorm also, and they'll have some discounts. Hey, this is going to be a hell of a sale. You got to get down here and see us. You want to save some money, get you a good interest rate, get you a good price on a car, and hey, we can even fix these cars in the process too.
Slight damage means big savings for you. It's the Memorial Day Hail Sale. Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. West Ark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact West Ark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. West Ark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call West Ark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Ad paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps' base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve, but passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file lawsuits seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation. 800-532-4724. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-532-4724. That's 800-532-4724. Again, 800-532-4724.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the host. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
You know, just judging on the last phone call, and I don't think Nathan was. I think Nathan kind of agrees with me on some of this here. Would Dave Van Horn be a better coach if the pop-up was caught in 2018? Is that what it's about? Because that's the separation between them winning a national title and not. And I guess in some folks' eyes, that's the separation in him like being the greatest coach of all time and just being an amazingly great coach. I don't view it that way at all. It ain't on him that didn't happen. All right, I promised Stephen from Natural Dam would get him right on here. Stephen, I appreciate your patience and for calling. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask y'all, I don't know if you've talked about it today. I'm kind of tuning in kind of late. But what y'all thought about what Dave Van Horn's approach for the SEC tournament would be? Like, you think he might rest some players and give some other players some more ABs, like Matt was saying, like with Lovich, maybe get him some more ABs and see if Jason Jones can get going, or what y'all thought about that. So I'll hang up and listen. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it, Stephen. Thank you. I think like if there's one guy that you really want to try to get going or get in a better place mentally, it's Kendall Diggs. Seeing Diggs coming out of the strike zone in ways that he usually does not or never really has before. So I think he's pressing some, and he can be such a difference maker. But, I mean, I don't know. Look, Lovich is not going to be somebody that's in the lineup every day. I think it's important to try to get Kendall feeling good going into the postseason. So I think that's one thing. And more than anything, it's not about, get these guys at bats, this and that. I'm sure you want to get Jack Wagner an at bat or two. You may need him to pinch hit or something at some point in the postseason. Souza or Helfrich, get them maybe seeing the ball a little bit better. I think it's about the pitching and getting, how are you going to line up your rotation after Hagen Smith? If Hagen does pitch the first game of a regional, we don't even know what day he's going to pitch here. So, there's been no announcement of what the starting pitcher is on Wednesday. I guess I'd be surprised if it's not Brady Tigert or at some point for him to pitch Wednesday or Thursday in relief. I just don't know the role that they view for him. He wasn't on the travel roster last week. He was with the team. I had asked Dave about it. He said, we're just giving him a week to rest and not worry about anything, and hopefully next week in Hoover he's ready to go. I mean, they obviously know that they need him, just like they need Molina. It's like they took him out of the rotation, but it's not like they took him off of the pitching staff.
If I gave you Brady, Mason, or Gage, who are you pitching game 2? If those are your 3 options.
Are we talking here in Hoover or regional?
No, we're going to talk in a regional. So is there something you want to see out of one of these guys in Hoover to get them ready? Because if Hagen Smith is your day 1 starter, who's our day 2 starters? What I'm asking you out of those 3 guys, who do you have the most confidence in with one of those guys?
Right now it would be Wood. It would be Gage Wood. I'd like it to be either Molina or Tigert because that was the situation all year up until last week.
So Hoover's really big for Brady Tigert, so to speak. Like you want to see him get 3 innings or just go out there, have a good showing to be like, hey, that can be a guy that can give us something come regional?
There's 2 things that we got to see from him. One, that his velocity is back where it should be, 93 to 94 instead of 89 to 90, and that he's able to throw that fastball for strikes. Because if he can't, there's not much else he's able to do. Maybe he could be a 1-inning reliever if he can't throw the fastball for a strike, because his breaking pitch can't be good enough sometimes if they're waiting on it.
Is that all bottom half? Because, we talked with KJ Jefferson a little bit, and we were talking about the intermediate throw and some of the timing throws and some of the crossers, and it's like that can be cleaned up with the bottom half of your footwork from the waist down. Can his location with that, is that like an arm slot thing? Is it bottom half, how you're pushing off the rubber? What can kind of tick that and get that back on?
Matt Hobbs had referred to it as a rotational issue, and I don't think he views it as a bottom half of the body thing. I think it's more waist and up to the shoulders where he's turning a little too early. When you see Brady where he really struggles, like with Hagan, when he has trouble throwing his fastball for strikes, it's going up and away from his hand, so up and away to a right-hander. So there's just something in the release point for him that he's got to figure out, and then he's able to get it down. With Tigert, it's more he throws it glove
like across
side,
his body,
like he's pulling it a little bit too much. And it doesn't look like it's a matter of how his feet are aligned or anything going on with the legs. Rotational, more like a core issue, like in the waist, how he's turning that body just a little bit too quickly. And like that's a thing about Tigert that I've wondered about before. And, so Gackle and Tigert have had the same role as freshmen, closers. They're totally different kinds of pitchers. I mean, they both have good fastballs, great breaking stuff, good changeup. But when you watch Brady Tigert pitch, you can see that's like, wow, that looks like it would be difficult to repeat over and over and over again. I mean, that back arm kind of flies out. His front arm it flops a little bit, and just a lot of movement in that delivery. And with Gackle, it's just a small, short, compact delivery where there's not a lot going on. He can repeat that delivery over and over. That's one reason why he's a strike thrower as much as he is. This happened with Brady as a freshman closer. If you remember, he didn't pitch very much in the postseason in 2022 because he was having the same problem. And it feels like with Brady, as soon as you think that command is on, it can go away pretty quickly. And I think his mechanics are the reason why. But even if he is just a 1 to 2 inning reliever, that's a role he's played before. I think he can still be very valuable. The guy who can start right now, or maybe get back out there and start, I think would be Molina. If you just use the word confidence and the ability to, what is confidence for this pitch for Matt Hobbs and for Dave Van Horn? It's getting the ball over the plate. You got to get the ball over the plate. That's why Molina wasn't pitching, because he wasn't throwing strikes. And there was a moment on Friday, Matt, you're up by 3 runs, 9th inning. He's facing the leadoff batter in the 9th inning, goes 3-0, missed with 3 straight pitches. So I'm watching him as I'm calling the game. It's like, well, you saw him just take a moment. You don't get that much time with a pitch timer now. But he took a moment, took a deep breath, collected himself. He threw nothing but strikes after that. It was beautiful to watch. So I think that'd be the guy that maybe I'd have more confidence in just being a starting pitcher moving forward. All right, we'll take a break. We got a lot more to get to. We're in the home stretch of halftime. If you want to get on, the McLarty Daniel hotline is 877-377-6963. Back in just a moment.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of ground.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line podcast network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-69. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McLarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime into the home stretch here. It looks like with this brawl, this NASCAR brawl, could be costing Ricky. Now I don't know how to say his name. I just know it's spelled. But Greg called in earlier and called him Steinhaus, but there's no I in his name. Stenhouse is how it's spelled, and could be looking at a potential lengthy suspension for getting into a fight and throwing the first punch. I think that might be where the error in his ways lies, is throwing the first punch. Says it could result in a suspension for Stenhouse, other crew members, and possibly his father. And again, I haven't even watched the wreck that caused this. Like, that's usually what everybody watches in NASCAR, right? I mean, yeah, you watch the race if you're a fan, but I know there are plenty of people that just watch for the crashes. That's what George Carlin said. The only reason he'd be watching auto racing was for the 12-car pileups. Where else could he watch a 12-car pileup and not be in the thing? Was what he said. But now all that anybody wants to talk about is the fight.
Very, very I guess it's up to par. You got to have a fight every once in a while in at the racetrack. I don't know anything about NASCAR. Absolutely nothing.
I'm trying to think of so how would this work in? You've had guys. Do you ever have anybody try to knock down the clubhouse wall or the locker room wall after a football game? Because Bubba's even talked to me about it. I think it was a AAA game. There was an issue he had with a pitcher. I think the guy had hit him, and it was the last day of a series, so it's not like they could face each other the next day. And he went. I think what he told me politely went to knock on the clubhouse door. I don't think he was really being polite about it. He said he was very politely walked away, escorted away by police or by security. So he tried to do it once. Did that ever happen in a football game?
A rancher trying to raise some snakes right there. I don't know. You know, you get some heated battles, and a lot of time it's in camp or it's in spring ball, and all the coaches from my dad being a junior high coach to the college coach at Coach Nutt to at the pros with Del Rio, they all seem to handle it well. I mean, you understand. I think as a player you understand the emotions and how heated it gets. But then after that, you don't have to like each other, but you got to shake hands and got to get over it.
I have a feeling Kyle Busch and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will not be.
You don't have to like each other, but you gotta. I mean, they're are they going to just keep wrecking each other as it goes on?
The funny thing was what Bush is shouting to him at the end. I don't know if you heard the audio from it. He's shouting to Stenhouse. He's saying, "I sucked as bad as you." It's self-deprecation to go on top of whatever caused the wreck and the self-deprecation. I guess it has to work together.
Shake and bake. It rhymes. They're both verbs. That just happened.
You know what else happened yesterday? So I go downtown to the Birmingham Barons game. It's a tradition I'll try to do anytime that they're home and we're here. I want to go. What do you do when the baseball broadcaster doesn't have a baseball game to broadcast? What did he do? He went and watched baseball. And Michael Turner plays for Birmingham for the Barons. You remember Michael? He was the catcher for the 2022 College World Series team at Arkansas. He was the quote unquote rental player that Derek talked about and got him in all that trouble. And I think that was exactly 2 years ago, because that was around the time that we got into Hoover. I think it was that week that we were in Hoover that all of that started to go out. And that would be an instance. The team Michael played on is an instance of you can't trust what you see the week of Hoover or even the week before to give you any sense of what's about to happen from a team, because that's the team that went into Stillwater, won the most offensively minded regional in the history of the sport, and then went 2-0 in the Super in Chapel Hill. And Michael was a huge reason why. But remember the team that ended the Razorback season that year was Ole Miss, and that was the Ole Miss championship year. So who's batting in front of Michael Turner in the Birmingham Barons lineup? Tim Elko, the former Ole Miss first baseman from that team, is batting right in front of him. Turner's DHing instead of catching, because I visited with him after the game. He said he'd injured his wrist in a collision at home plate, but he can swing the bat, just doesn't really feel all that good. But I just thought that was kind of – and then I think it was – I forget the name of the kid, but he played center field for NC State when they beat Arkansas in the 2021 Super Regional. Michael wasn't on that team, but he was he's the center fielder for the Birmingham Barons. So it's like you see these guys playing college ball, and then you see them in the minors, and a couple years later, and it's guys that played against each other and hated rivalries and all of that, and now they're teammates, and they're one right after the other in the lineup. I know Michael and Elko would have gone up against each other something like, heck, I think we saw them 6 times that year. So now they're good buddies and good teammates and everything, and it's been 2 years since Michael Turner played for the Razorbacks, but he still wears the red Nike cleats, the same cleats he wore in 2022. It's like we had good seats. We're sitting behind home plate, can see him in the on-deck circle, and then in the batter's box. I'm like, wait a minute. Those look like the same shoes that he would have worn at Arkansas, and they are the exact same shoes he's wearing. I wouldn't have thought that these baseball cleats would have lasted that long, but yeah, they've lasted through a full baseball season at Arkansas, a full minor league season last year, and at least up until May the 20th, they lasted too. Good pair of shoes.
Yeah, the baseball spikes were always when you get your first pair of baseball spikes that were actually spikes, the metal
ones.
I want to say I might have been in like 8th grade, maybe 9th when I finally got the first, but they're kind of cool though. Yeah.
I have the weirdest.
They're definitely different than the other baseball club, but the real spikes, the metal spikes, are pretty sharp. Yeah.
I don't even think kids would be allowed to wear metal spikes.
They can't.
Anymore.
They don't wear those anymore. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they're allowed to, because I mean, a lot of these fields are just turf.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, the AstroTurf that doesn't. Yeah, it's not conducive.
So I got a pair of. So this is funny too, and I don't remember how my father got these shoes, but he gave me a pair. These were game worn cleats worn by Lee Lacy, who was a former big league outfielder that played for the Pirates in like the early to mid 80s. I don't know how he got these shoes. He told me that these were Lee Lacy's shoes, and I think I was 16. I think I was 15 or 16, and he gave them to me, and I wore those cleats for 2 high school seasons. Well, maybe one. I guess my feet at 15 or 16 were about the same size as Lee Lacy's were when he was in his 30s. So he was more of a speedster, not the biggest guy in the world. But I think those were the first pair of metal cleats that I wore, and I think they were worn on big league fields too. And I don't know if those things they may be back in my parents' house. The old Lee Lacy cleats. All my friends remembered those things because they were black and gold, just like the Pirates wore, and it looked like they had been through a little bit. They had the scratches on them. So I guess that might have been the first pair of cleats that I got. But as far like with Michael, like you're given the cleats at Arkansas. They're not giving you the cleats playing in the White Sox system. Like maybe your agent will buy something for you, but it's quite a bit different from the amount of equipment that you will get at Arkansas from what you got to have for a whole minor league season. And that was fun yesterday too. Those minor league games move, man. They move really, really fast. The pitch timer, 20 seconds in college. It was like 15, 16 seconds.
They restarted pretty quick.
Oh, it was super quick, really quick. All right, time to wrap up halftime. We'll do that in just a moment. If you want to get on with us, it's 877-377-6963. It's halftime, and it's right back after this.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
Get 1.9% financing for well-qualified buyers on a GMC Sierra 1500 at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra 1500 has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Get 1.9% financing and $3,250 in purchase allowance when you trade an eligible vehicle. See the new GMC Sierra 1500 at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Hey, I'm Arkansas pitcher Hagen Smith. Unlock huge savings as a Pascal Plan protection member for just $8.99 a month. Enjoy annual AC tune-ups, priority scheduling, and discounts on repairs. Plus, these benefits extend to your plumbing and electrical needs, too. Sign up now and get up to $350 in instant savings on a water heater, electric panel, or new AC system. With their friendly budget payment plans, you'll never overpay for your home services. Don't wait. Visit gopascal.com today to schedule your service or to start your membership.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Can you explain the infield fly rule? Neither can I, but I can help you navigate a variety of legal issues, from divorce to personal injury to estate planning. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions, a new law firm offering affordable flat fees with payment plans available. You get an ace at the price of a minor leaguer. Now that sounds like a grand slam to me. Call Mock Legal Solutions for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Attention homeowners, storm season is here, and it's time to take action to protect your property. At H&H Tree Service, we've got you covered. Licensed and insured, our expert team specializes in removing dangerous trees and limbs, keeping you and your loved ones safe. Plus, count on us for thorough storm cleanup services. Our service area includes the entire River Valley and parts of Oklahoma. Don't wait until it's too late. Call H&H Tree Service at 479-227-9480. H&H Tree Service, your safety is our priority.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. You have the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Words disappear. Words once so clear. Only echoes passing through the night. Lines on my face, your fingers once trace, fading reflection of what was.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
SEC baseball tournament starts tomorrow. You'll find all the best odds, not just on Arkansas games, but all the other games in this tournament on the BetSaracen app. And, of course, with the NBA Conference Finals coming up, NHL Conference Finals also approaching, and Major League Baseball in full swing. Got to have the BetSaracen app on your phone when you want to put a little wager on your favorite sporting event. Apple users download from the App Store. Android users from Google Play. You can use any web browser as well. BetSaracen.com, but you got to be inside the state of Arkansas to use it. You're bringing up, Matt, your Aldi brand sparkling water.
Mm-hmm.
Jason in Centerton is a big, great value Dr. Thunder guy.
Dr.
I think
Thunder.
He must have spelled it properly, because there's no period at the end of Doctor in Dr. Pepper. But I don't know if that's the same case for Dr. Thunder or Mr. Pibb, if we're doing proper punctuation for those two drinks.
Who's your favorite to win the SEC baseball tournament? We did that kind of for the SEC basketball tournament, and just kind of, I think we were all kind of off on that one. I think I had Tennessee. Who won it? Auburn won the SEC tournament last year, right? And who do you got? Is it going to be the number 1 seed, or do you think somebody else slips in there and wins it this year?
I think Georgia's a team to watch out for. They've been incredibly hot. Just had a 9 or 10 game winning streak halted. But, I think the top 4 seeds in this tournament, they don't have much to play for as far as it's concerned. I think A&M might have a little more to play for. But I'd really love to see Tennessee and A&M battle as 2 teams that are really complete teams in terms of power, speed, pitching, fielding. I'd say the team that wins that, when they do play, if they do, Tennessee gets either Vandy or Florida, A&M gets either Mississippi State or Ole Miss. I think the winner of that game will be the winner of this tournament.
Okay.
I think those right now are the teams that are playing the best in the conference. I'm really impressed with A&M. I think I think they could be pretty scary once we get into the NCAA tournament.
They look the part, Phil. When I watch the game, as far as you're looking kind of at their third baseman, you're looking at their left. You're like, oh, that's a baseball player. That's a baseball player. I think they definitely have some pieces there.
Well, it's a ton of veterans too. I mean, just looking through it was like batters 3 through 7 in their batting order. They're all either in their 3rd, 4th, or 5th year of college baseball. So they're established. They've been playing for near 200 games. Most of them, all of those guys played most of their career somewhere else until this season. They all transferred into A&M. So, I mean, I don't know if I view it the same way as like in March Madness, the team that's got the most veterans is maybe going to have the best chance. But I do think that the veteran lineup that they put out there and the fact that their pitchers throw strikes, I think A&M could be pretty scary, and I think the Hogs could be too. I just don't think they're going to. They're not going to. I don't think they'll go balls to the wall the way that they would need to win this tournament. It's like Dave said yesterday. We're not going to try to pitch anybody too much because we're going to worry about getting into Hoover. But if you get to Saturday and you're playing to make it to Sunday, I just don't know if the game gets managed the same way.
Maybe take the take sign off a little bit, as far as free up the hitters instead of taking that first strike or that first pitch. If there's something you're trying to do a little bit different, just a little more freedom. Give them something to give them some confidence.
But it's such an odd spot that this tournament is in for this team, and really for the other 3 teams whose postseason fate, as far as where they sit in the seeding, is made up. Like it's like limbo. It's the thing between the thing you just finished and what's coming up next. It's just difficult to define what this week is. You got to play in it. You're part of the conference, so you have to play in it. I mean, the conference wants this tournament played, and you got to go out and get there. It's just a very kind of a weird spot to be. That nothing that happens this week affects what happens next week, unless there's an injury. And I mean, so wrap everybody up in bubble wrap and don't let them cross the street. Maybe that's the approach to take at it. Just be as careful as possible. I still remember watching Brady Slavens slipping on first base and spraining his ankle severely in this tournament in 2021, and he really wasn't any good after that because of the ankle sprain. So make sure you're being careful wherever you step. Maybe that's the way to go at it here.
Good to see you today. Good show.
And you do look pretty, Matt. I'm supposed to begin the show with that. Is it okay if I end the show with a lie today?
We can stop it off with a lie.
All right. I'll try to remember that when we get together tomorrow for another award-winning edition of Halftime. Make sure you got the Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast downloaded for anything you missed today. Ruskin and Zach ready to take you in just a few minutes. For Matt and for the C Unit, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.